Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Trust the Prophets. It's your friend Spin here on Woodbine Live, and also with maybe some Del Mar. We'll see at the end here, but right now we're focusing on our good friends to the north up in Toronto, Woodbine. Hope all is well and that everybody's doing great. Love to have you all joining us tonight on this edition of Trust the Prophets. I hopefully will have Tim, otherwise known as Riders Up, joining me soon. But we are going over through some Woodbine races tonight here, and we're going to be doing Woodbine races 5 through 8. So hope all is well with everybody. Let me know who's out there, who you like in the picks, and we'll be going over those and all that stuff for you here on Thursday, almost Whitney weekend. Let me know if anyone's going up to Saratoga for the big races. Looking forward to it this weekend. It's going to be a lot of fun for sure. We got Tony in there. How are you, my friend? Great to see you. Welcome to the chat, Zach. And let us all know who you guys like out there. It's going to be a big night tonight. And Woodbine's getting ready. They're getting closer and closer to their big day of the meet, which is exciting. So the King's Plate. I always still want to say King's Plate, but it's the Queen's Plate. It's the King's Plate now. I always want to say Queen's Plate, but it's actually the King's Plate. So I'm going to turn on the light here. Much better. There we go. Now we can see. How are you, everybody? But yeah, so let me know who you like here. So we're going on to Woodbine here. And we are 5 minutes to race 4 here at Woodbine. We got Joe in the house. Hey, Joe, how are you, my friend? Great to see you. Welcome to the show. Let us know who you like here in the 4th race. We got a big, what do we got here? We got it inside the inner turf. It's a good track. Starter optional claiming third bet 36.5. And for those who haven't joined us, welcome. What we always do is we do a $50 mythical bankroll where we kind of pick the races and see how we do. And we usually let other people take turns. Bobby, how are you, my friend? Great to see you. Sorry, we're a little late tonight here, a little bit traffic and everything, but we're going to have some fun tonight here at Woodbine and hopefully make some money, have some fun. That's what it's all about, right? It's almost the weekend. So let us know who you like in here, which ones you like in here. In this race, very interesting thing, Jack the Cat is my top pick here. Emma Jane and Steve Chirkop. Hey, Grandma, how are you? Great. Thank you for saying hello, my friend. Jack the Cat is my first pick here in the 4th race. On the inner turf up in Woodbine, it's amazing. There are some horses that love the inner turf and some horses that love the outer turf. And this is a horse who really likes the inner turf. And Emma and Chirkop are amazing together. Steve Chirkop and Emma are fabulous together. So that is my first pick. And to start off the night, I will be doing 4 across on the 5 to try to get us going in a right direction here. See if we can hit a little money. My second pick was Sagimi, who is actually getting a lot of pick. Again, here's another horse who likes the inner track, which is great. Trish, how are you, my friend? Great to see you. Thanks for joining. Best of luck to you, my friend. Let us know who you like, Trish, as always, which is great. Hopefully your ladies will shine for you tonight, which would be awesome. But Sagimi's another horse who likes the inner track, and that's a very good angle to go. The third pick in this race was actually Scratch, so I will go for my third pick will be Malibu Uproar. So right now I'm kind of chalk in this race, but sometimes if that's the best thing you got to do, he's faced better. Malibu Uproar. He's got Kazushi for Kevin Attard, who's a wonderful trainer, and they're a wonderful combination together. So my top picks were as follows: 5, 7, 3, but in no order. I have any of you like it another way. Obviously, it's great. But Joe is going with the 5 over the 1-3. And let's see here. We got, yeah, he's going with my 5, Jack the Cat, but he also likes Stop the Humbug. Ooh, Declan and Richard Morton. Yeah. Again, a horse that has tried the inner track, may like it, and had a very solid last 4th place on the synthetic going back to the turf. So he could be Worcester, my man, 2 days till Saratoga. Can't wait, buddy. It's going to be a great time. Thank you, as always, for stopping by, my man. So appreciate it. Can't wait to see you and your lovely wife up there. It's going to be so much fun. Can't wait. Brett, how are you, buddy? He likes the 5. Okay, and the 5-7 exacta. Okay, that's definitely, you're right with me on there. So that's fantastic. So we're just 1 minute to post here at Woodbine. So glad to have you guys all joining us tonight here on this almost Whitney weekend. And anyone who's at Del Mar, let us know what races you have, or any races around the country that you're excited about this weekend. It could be your local track, or let us know who you like, who's going on. Who do you like in the Whitney? Let us know. Will Cody's which one?
On the way to the starting gate.
And they're on the way to the starting gate right now. Grandma likes the 1 here at a price. Stop the Humbug. Yeah, Declan Carroll, Richard Morton. A very good combination. Yep, Grandma. That's a very solid combination. So, and 12 to 1 giving you extreme value right now. So, Zach, it's great to have everybody on tonight. Loving it. Exactly. They're moving in right now as we speak into the line. Good luck to everybody. It's a beautiful day here in Boston. Let me know where you're coming from. You know, how the weather is out there. If it's a gorgeous day like we have here. If we could just bottle this weather up. It's so amazing. It's absolutely amazing. Love it. But they're going into the gate. Jack the Cat, my pick, is going in at 3 to 1, which I think is extreme value. Let's see what Bobby has here. Bobby has 3, 5, 7, 2 with 2, 3, 5. So good luck, Bobby. That's great. And good luck to Grandma. Good luck to Brett. Joe, bring it home. Worcester, hope you're playing a couple of night if you're playing, or you probably saving himself for the big one. Vince, how are you, my friend? Great to see you. How are you? Hopefully we're going to make some money tonight there, Vince. Hopefully we'll see our official bet. Let me put it in here, by the way. Official bet. I'm just starting easy here. 4 across on the 5. Just had a horse just banging her off. Trish is also going to use the 4 here. So it's the 7 that's going out for the early late here. Sagimi with Society Joe coming up. Trish, hopefully Tim will be here soon. Exactly. Yeah, a little bit of a delay here, and if I have to do this by myself, I will. But some stuff going on this morning, and also before we say to our good friend Brian Prophet, feel better, my friend, and I hope you feel better soon. He's still trying to get better, so we hope that he gets better real soon. So we still got the 7 all by himself on there on the outside. 47.5. Sagimi's going at a good clip here. Jack the Cat's going to have to get going a little bit from the back there. But right now, Sagimi seems to be taking it to this field right now. Malibu Uproar trying. Let's see if Jack the Cat can maybe get a little bit of run here. But right now, it's the Sagimi show. 7 with the 3. People are trying to come in. It's all Sagimi as he goes wire to wire at 5 to 2 under Rafael Hernandez. The 3 and then the 1 who Grandma liked there at price. And and 14 to 1/3. So I know a couple of people had the, let's see here. Bobby D had the exacta, was 7-3. Good job, Bobby. Bobby had that. Let's see who else we got here. Grandma liked the one at a price. Good job, Grandma. Joe was on the 5 over the 1-3. I was with you on that 5, and I don't know. Not the greatest performance today, but sometimes these horses, you never know. It can be a hot day or something. They're just not on their game. It just wasn't his day today. So hopefully Jack the Cat can bounce back next time. Let's see where he finished here. He was kind of far back there. Yeah, Jack finished pretty well back, unfortunately. So just wasn't his day. That's part of horse racing. So, which is great. But let me see who else had here. We had Malathot got it. Nice job. Did Grandma have that across? Let's see. I hope so. There we go. But okay, now look at that. Now he got it. Now Malathot's going to get his daughter. But see, priorities. I love it. That's great. That's great. That's what it's all about, my friend. Gotta love that. So it was 7-3-1 for those who were playing along there. And that's a very nice, formidable. That was speed. Dan, nice job. Hit the exacta to start. Well done, my friend. Great to see you. That's great. That's what we love to see here. People making money. We want to be there with you too, but hey, I'm so glad that you guys are playing this, which is great.
The unofficial result is 7-3-1.
I'm just going up for the Whitney. I will be there on Saturday morning, and I will be there through the Sunday races. Then I'll head back to Boston. But very excited. Great weekend headed by the great one Whitney and Cody's Wish, which is fantastic. And so I'm very excited to see him. I think he's got a huge chance, and obviously he's America's sweetheart. So we're rooting for him. This should be a great weekend. I know it's going to be wet up there tomorrow, so if you're going up there, bring an umbrella. But Saturday and Sunday are looking pretty good, so which is not bad. And by the way, the official order of finish was 7-3-1-4. Again, the 7-3-1-4. So I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a fun time. I'm going to see my friends Colin up there. Matt, of course, as you all know, is working for Naira now, doing a great job. And pretty soon we're going to have our friend Tim join us here, which will be exciting. The man, the myth, the legend, known as Riders Up. Todd, how are you, my man? How are you? Welcome to Thursday, almost the weekend. So I'm looking forward to it. So anyone who's up there, come by, say hello. Is there a price that's too short for me on Cody's Wish? Unfortunately, he is America's darling, So the reality of the situation is he's going to be low. Yeah, I'm seeing like 4 to 5, 1 to 2. If there's my guess thing for Dan it's a great question. My philosophy is try to find an exacta that you really like, and even if you think maybe Cody's not going to get the mile and the 8th, if there's a horse that you really think can really challenge him, box it. Because if he doesn't, it's a graveyard of favorites for a reason. If he doesn't get the mile and an 8th, you're going to get a great pay across. So, so that's good. Charles B. in the house. How are you, buddy? Hope all's well. So the 173 exacta for $1.1510. Wow, is that great for anyone that had that? The 20-cent trifecta 731 1921. The 20-cent super 7314 8512. $1 daily double 67 112.85. And the 20-cent pick 3 58.57. And the Omnis actually paid something, 15.30, 5.15, and 8.70. So there you go. So whoever had that You guys are off to a great start. We did not because our 5 did not show up. But hey, new race, new place, new everything, right? So can't beat that, right? Exactly. So absolutely. So let us know who you like here, and we'll look at that very soon here and see what we got here. Exactly. So, and anybody who, yeah, exactly. Let us know who you like this weekend, tonight, anywhere. Floor is yours. No doubt about it. So, here we go. So, let's see here. Okay. So 7-1. Oh, Charles hit on 7-1 on top of Delmar. Charles, nice job. Well done. Well done, man. We might get, depending on time, we might get to a couple of Delmar races. Mike Witten. Hey, buddy. How are you? Hope all's well. Mike, are you hitting Saratoga at all, my friend? Let me know if you're getting up there at all to the spa. Exactly. So we will go to Woodbine here for the fifth race coming up here. Looks like a beautiful day up there. And look at this. Wouldn't you know, the favorite in the fifth race is a horse named Boston Tea Party. Something near and dear to my heart there. And right now he's at 4-5 with Patrick Husbands up there. We got a couple of scratches. We got the 5 musical spell. Well, just one scratch with him. And very interesting. The 3-1 is at 4-5, Boston Tea Party. Then the second favorite, Causing Mayhem, was a 7-2, is 10-1. Dream Jareem, who was 8-1 in the morning line, again, Kazushi and Kevin Attard, 9-2. Victoria's Chief, Sahin Savachi, Mark Kasse, have they been does that count as a food pick? Sure it does. Absolutely does. Absolutely does. Victoria's Chief getting some play, 6-1 in the morning line. And 94 Expo, so it's 5-2 in the morning line, is getting totally ignored right now at 14-1. So that's early money, though. So we'll have to see how that kind of plays out in the scenario for sure. Mike, hoping to get to the Breeders' Cup. Oh, wow. That'd be great. Del Mar, oh, does it beat? Nothing beats that, huh? That'd be exciting for sure. Hope you get there. That'd be great. Jesse, how are you, my friend? Great to meet you. Not meet you. Oh, I meant exactly. But great to see you. Looking forward to your picks tonight, my friend. Tim is in the house. I think he's in. So he's going to be hopefully. Oh, let me see if we can add him. There he is.
There I am.
There he is. The one, the only, the myth, the legend of Stable Duel. He will be signing autographs after the session and giving his seminar. How are you, my good man?
I am doing very well. How are you tonight, Sean?
I'm doing fantastic.
I was like, you got to let me in because they're betting my pick in this race. I'm in love with the 6 here. I like the 6.
6, I love it. There you go. And this is your race, my man. So you get to do what you like to do. Exactly.
This is almost a dead pet alarm, but it's not. I did not pick the horse because of it, but I mean, I am a chief, so Victoria's Chief. It's like,
see, yeah, you are right.
I didn't pick the horse for that though. I really like this horse. If you look at this race, this is one similar to what we had at Del Mar last week. There is speed across the board here. And this horse looks like that he wants to come from off the speed. He's definitely got the best late kick in the race. He's second off a layoff, and I think he's going to benefit from the early pace and come sweep them all late.
Yeah, and Sahin has done such a fabulous job for Mark Kasse. He is really, last year, Sahin has always been a very good rider. I just think he needed a little confidence. He was riding last year for Marty Drexler with amazing success. And I think it really, really helped his confidence. He went down to like Texas and New Mexico and Turf Paradise and did really well down there. And he's carried it back with him to Woodbine. He's really become a really, really solid rider up there. Now Mark Hase's noticed he's riding him, and he's coming through for him. So it's a great combination.
I agree, and I know some people may question the distance, but I think it looks good.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you on that one. So.
And if you question anything, you look at Patrick Husbands getting off the 6 and going to the 1, but almost for the 6. I like this, and I would almost call this an upgrade in this particular case.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. He's been riding absolutely marvelously.
Really has.
So, I mean, I dare say he's one of the highest, hottest jockeys up there,
And Cassie's got a good record right now. He's his horses are doing well as well.
Yeah. And thank you, Joe. Well, yeah, hopefully we'll finish strong there at Horseshoe Indy. Exactly. Dan asked Tim, who do you got underneath on this one?
So I do like that one. I mentioned the one earlier as far as Patrick Husbands getting off the 6 and going to the 1. I like the one underneath for second. He is, if you look at the races he's been racing against a little bit better. But the question here, and this is why with a horse like this on the speed on the front end, I need to see a little more. I don't see anything, that last work, it's a 101. Okay. It's only 1 of 4 though, as far as a bullet goes, but you got to question the year layoff. And anytime a horse is coming off a layoff that long, and he's got a new trainer and who doesn't have great stats with this particular 100 plus 188 days layoffs. I need to see one. I think this horse could be the best if he's ready, but I'm going to question that, and I'm going to play the horse at some odds of the 6, and I'm going to play the 1 underneath. And I like third best. I like the 7. When I look at the 7's another one that I think can rate a little bit, and with the amount of speed in here, and the thing you have to watch on this as well is the 6 and 7 are both Cassie trained horses. So yes. What's the plan here?
Right, exactly, right. And you will often see him with 2-3 horses in one race,
Right.
So
I'm 6-1-7.
I love it. And I'm right with you. I was the same way. And then, of course, with the Boston part, I have to always love a horse with Boston in it. But
absolutely.
But exactly. So yeah, I think I'm exactly in the same order as you here. You always have to watch for the what do you call it, the Kazushi Addard combination. They can always be a sneaky one, but they were my 4th,
right.
Not the. So.
And the thing on the 4 here is I'm looking at the 4, and it is his first try on turf. The horse is definitely working well. He's been in some good races, but the turf pedigree here isn't stellar. It's okay. But I would like to see a little bit better. And the trainer's stat with this particular move going synthetic to turf, it's mediocre at best.
Yeah. And the question Go ahead, my friend.
I was just going to say, you always have to watch the blinkers on angle for that horse.
Yes, absolutely. Vince is asking the big question. Tim, I'll let you kind of handle this one. Is everyone playing for, against, or passing on Cody's wish this weekend?
Oh, who can play against Cody's wish?
That's my thing. I can't.
It's such a great story, and horse racing right now needs this kind of story. I love the horse. I think the horse, and beyond being a good story, it's a really good horse.
Yeah, exactly.
I will tell you my sentimental pick in this race, and a horse that I'm going to play is I'm a White Barrio fan. I play that horse a lot. I'll be wearing my White Barrio hat on Saturday.
Excellent.
That I got. But
excellent.
That's another great story, because when you look at the owners group for this horse, they do so much for horse racing and retiring thoroughbreds and giving money back to the game.
Yes,
it's hard to root against those connections.
Oh, I agree. And Jesse loves White Barrio too. And that's what I was saying earlier, Tim, before you joined us. I said, if you I said, obviously Cody's going to be short, like on the price. I said, but if there's a horse that you really like White Abario, and you think you can get a good, and you think he has a chance at maybe upsetting the apple cart, going a mile and an eighth, it's not a bad thing to box if you feel real strong on like an exacta, If he does get toppled over, you'll probably get a really good exacta on the other way.
Totally agree. You know that from my conversations on previous broadcasts, that's my angle always. Cody's gonna be the favorite, and a lot of people are gonna fade favorites just to fade favorites and try to find a price, but it's hard when a horse is that good, but good horses have bad races, and absolutely, if you like another horse, don't ever go against your gut in this game. Good horse.
Yeah.
There's no horse out there as good as they are that wins them all, and so they're going to throw a bad race from time to time, and you just want to be in on the payout when they do.
Yeah, absolutely. Now Todd brings up the horse that I'm a big fan of, but he just reminds me too much of Tacitus. Zandon loves to run. He loves to be in the action. He's always there. He's an equine ATM machine. If I owned him, I'd absolutely adore him, because every time he's going to cash you a check, and a nice one. But he just doesn't seem to know how to win. He's always there, but he just doesn't seem to get it done. And see what you think on him.
Totally agree. Concur on all parts. I like the horse. I've watched the horse run the big race at Keeneland last year. I was there, and I do like this horse. It's a horse, but again, just like you said, there are some horses that you just follow and you really like the horse and you root for the horse, but as far as performing and coming in and getting that payout, there's another one in this race that's very similar, and that's Charging.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah. And Todd said he might upset and this is what's so important about these races. On their best day, these horses are capable of upsetting. They absolutely are. Charge It, if he runs on his best day, like he did at Belmont, he can win. Zandon, if he finally finds the light bulb, he could win. There's at White Abario, if he finds that sprint form back, in a mile and an eighth, he could win, so, or the Florida Derby form back, he could win, so you just never know.
And if you want to take that to the extreme, you can look at a horse like Giant Game, who is 20-1 in the morning line. And when you look at that horse and compare his figures, he matches right up with the rest of these horses. Now, he's not been, so to speak, up against this caliber of horses, this many of them like this. And you understand the morning line at 20-1, but if you're just looking at a horse that throws his race and has the numbers to do so, you understand why the connections put the horse in a race like this. And I think, believe it or not, the horse fits here.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that's what the great thing is, Yeah, absolutely. So I think it's going to be great. So Tim, what is our bet going to be here at Woodbine? Yeah, let's see here. We have 7 minutes to Woodbine. Let us know who you guys like in race 5 here at Woodbine. I think the 6, but at 4-1 is a very, very nice price. Myself, I did not expect 4-1. I thought it'd be like 5-2, 3-1, and it's still early. But I don't know if you share that sentiment.
I did think the horse was going to get bet down a little bit. Obviously, I like the horse on top, and that was with the morning line odds of 9-2. I thought the horse would be bet down 4-1, 7-2, but I definitely thought the horse would be taking more money, and it seems like that the 4 is taking the money that I thought the 6 was going to take in here.
Yeah, absolutely.
And again, I can understand the angle on the 4, but I think there are a few things against the 4 here as far as the
I couldn't agree more.
And the way that I look at it, and can the horse be there? Absolutely, but I think it's more of an underneath play here for me. And
sure, I can agree. Yeah,
I like this 6, and but because of the price, even with the one being 8-5, and they're showing the post parade right now, and there's the one, and looks really good on the track. So, but I still question, horses come out and are the class and good to go, but a year layoff's a year layoff. And
I agree.
This horse could get out on the front with all the speed in here. They could push the horse enough to where the horse doesn't have the stamina on the first race back to be able to hang on.
Right.
So he could be on top. So for that reason, I think we do an exacta key box 6 with 1-7. That way we got our 6 on top and underneath.
Yeah, love it. I think that's a perfect play. Yeah. And our bankroll right now is at $48. Putting that out there for the people there. Exactly. And then we're gonna do a key 6 with the 1-7. Yeah.
And you know what, Sean? Let me change that if you don't mind.
Sure.
Because I don't.
You put it in. Yep. You put it in. Yep.
Yeah. I like the 7 here as far as an underneath play, but I don't want to key the 7 on top. So what I'm going to play is an exacta, so we'll do a $1 exacta 1-6 with 1-6-7.
Perfect. Love
and that way we save ourselves that extra $1 of the 7 on top, because I don't think the 7 is going to be on top. That's a $4 wager for $1, and I think it could,
absolutely.
It gets what we're looking at. So 1-6 with 1-6-7.
Yeah, with 1-6-7. Love it, my friend.
No, that's the thing when you get into a certain type of wagering, like the exacta key box for everyone. It's like, be careful when you're doing things like this, because what we are saying is we think the 1 and 6 can finish first or second, but we like the 7 underneath as a possible second place horse to either one of those two. But there's no need to spend the extra money to play the 7 on top, because we just don't think the horse can win on top. Now that's my personal opinion. Everybody bet what you bet, but be careful when you box. And that's why people say when you boxing 2 horses is one thing. When you start boxing a whole bunch of horses, really you should start doing this type of wager that we just did, to where you put less horses for first, put more for second, and because there are probably more horses that can finish underneath than can actually win in most races.
Right, absolutely. Great point by you. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, absolutely. So we're getting ready to start going here towards the.
So I'm just looking at Brett's comment. He's asking, what about the 3? I'm going to take a look at what my notes were.
Yeah, let's take a look at the 3 here. Causing Mayhem. S1 and Lane Guilford. Yeah. S1 has ridden for 4 times so far. Respectable effort off the turf last time in the 111. And this is a big thing for people out there who are kind of learning Woodbine. There's kind of 3 categories of the allowance. There's 111,000, there's 68,000, and the 46,000, which is kind of like there's 3 different levels up there at Woodbine. And the 111 is like the big boys, it's like the gold level, and then the 68 is kind of the middle, and then the 49 is kind of the lower. Exactly. But and the 3 was running in the 111 last couple of races, and did come in second on the turf. So, exactly. So he's not without a chance, Brett.
And I have to wonder, the one thing about the 3 that stood out, and the 3 definitely, when I looked at it, that last race, the horse was really wide and basically tired for being so wide in that race. But the one thing that really stood out to me is you don't often see so many races with blinkers on, and then just all of a sudden, without other changes or for any other particular reason, it looks like that they just take the blinkers back off. So why the blinkers off? The horse ran one time with blinkers off in his very first race, and evidently the horse has responded a little better with them on. So why are we going back off?
That's a great question.
And it seems like a little bit of an experiment, but I got off the horse for a couple of reasons, but can you see it? Sure. I could make a case for it, but again, and the blinkers off angle for this particular trainer, when I looked at it, it's something that I look at a lot. Is a trainer successful with this move? Do they put blinkers on? This trainer, he doesn't have a lot of races, but he's over. He's not won a race going blinkers off.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And so we're starting to head towards the gate here with 1 minute to go. And I saw Trisha speaking in there. I am so happy. One of my great friends, personal friends, is Katie Davis, and I'm so happy to see her start off to a great start at Saratoga so far. 3 days in a row with a win, and been bringing them in the money. You know, she's always been talented, and the fact that she's showing her talent against the very best right now, I think, is fantastic, Trish. So very excited to see it. One of the nicest people you'll ever meet.
Hey, Blair, how's it going tonight?
Hey, Blair.
Dan said he's putting a win bet on the 6. I like that bet, Dan. I really like the 6.
Yeah, 6-1
that's
value.
That's where my personal money is going in this race.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I am across. At 6-1, I just, I'm usually win place better, but at 6-1, and that's usually my threshold. Is 6-1 or higher, I may throw a show, because if you get 2 other long shots with them, you can get a nice pay.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Katie did great tonight. She's looking great. Tim, was there any yelling that I read today?
Today was my first day back at school, getting things ready for the kids next week. So unlike the rest of this summer where I've done a lot of race watching and a lot of things, I've been really busy all day, and I came straight home and jumped into the PPs on DRF so that I could get ready for tonight. So
that's fabulous. There you go.
But looks like we're loading them up.
Yeah. Our 6 is owned by Live Oak Plantation.
Up to 7-1. Love it.
Yeah. Trying to work in the 8 coming in here. Live Oak, for those people out there, is also known as the Campbell Soup family. That's why you see a lot of those horses up there named Super, SOUPERs, after the Campbell Soup people. Blair's got 1-3-4. Good luck. Trisha's got a win place on Bejan Bullet. Okay, the 2.
Wait till you get the next race. It's the super speedy race.
I love it.
There's like 3 or 4 horses in there that are sired by super speedy.
I love it.
And we're off.
The 1. Yeah. 1 is on the lead, Boston Tea Party, as we said. The 8, pressuring him on the outside. The 7 lurking right in the inside there.
6 looks well positioned to me.
Yep, 6 is well positioned. The 1 continuing to try. We got the 7 coming.
7's looking good.
Yep, 6 is trying to close in with him.
6 is not doing well.
No, but we got the 1 still on top. The 4 trying to come down the thing with Kazushi. 7's trying. Wow, Boston Tea Party off the layoff. Very strong tonight.
Very impressive. And that's what I said. The horse was much the best if he was ready. That's an angle I'm always going to play against.
Yeah. And Blair had 1-4-3-4. Great job, Blair. Very nice. Very nice. Good job, my friend. Fantastic. Yes, boom indeed. Great job.
And 2-1 as the off odds, that's really not bad for
that horse, yeah. So it's 1, let's see.
1-4-3, I believe it was.
Yeah, it was, yeah. And then who was 4th there? 3, 7, and Trisha's 2 was starting to kind of get in there a little late. Melanie Pinto over from Fort Erie. One of the good ladies over at Fort Erie was up for that mount. I was excited to see her. She's a great lady and a very talented rider down in Fort Erie. So chalk was just too good there, Charles. I agree. I think the field was expecting him to stop, and Patrick said no.
You know, and the one thing that surprised me when it comes to the race, the way it played out, is I really thought there would be a couple more horses up on the speed, and
yeah, exactly.
There weren't.
No,
the eight wasn't enough to push that one.
No, exactly. No. Yep, Trish, we did definitely all have a beeper back in the day. Yep, the pagers. That was definitely a. Yeah, that was an impressive Boston Tea Party.
It was
coming back.
And he was handridden down the lane.
Yeah, absolutely. Watch out for that horse going forward here. You know, that's incredible. You know, so. Go ahead, my friend. Yeah.
You know what they say? Turn the page. We'll get the payouts here, and then we'll move on.
Absolutely.
We have 4 more races to make the money.
Short-term memories, we like to say. Short-term memory. Yes, and the next race we got coming up here. We'll get the payoffs here in a second. Then we'll be looking at race 6, and we got 9 tonight, which is exciting. As they go through the summer, they have more and more horses. So they usually, instead of the 8, they have 9, which is great. Our friends actually have a horse in race 9, so that'll be exciting.
That's always good when you got somebody to root for.
Absolutely.
In addition to horses to root for.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love rooting for the connections of good people.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So, let me see here for you. Exactly. So 21 minutes to race. Let's see if we. So that, yeah. Let's see here, and let's see what Blair gets. He should get a nice pay there, Blair. Because that was a good. Let's see, 2-1 over 9-2 over 3-1. 2-1 over 2-1.
2-1.
2-1.
Yeah, that 3 got bet down late.
He did. Wow. Yeah, he was 3-1 going to the gate. They hammered him. Yeah.
Right.
Wow. Exactly.
And it is Boston Tea Party. First time to Woodbine at winning one. A very impressive performance. Beautiful red.
Yeah, definitely beautifully red. That's for sure.
Pirates Trove spikes down bloodline there. Josh Farms Limited red the winner in Ontario. Success.
So, Sean, what day are you headed up to Saratoga? Tomorrow morning?
No, I'm going to head up Saturday morning.
Saturday morning.
I'm only 3 hours away, so okay. So I'll just go up on Saturday morning and then head back to Boston after the races are done. So it's not too far, you know.
Yeah, and actually, it's nice to be able to do that because staying in that area is a nightmare, especially on big race days like this.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So I'll stay up there Saturday night and then come back on Sunday night. Exactly. Over the Thaddeus Cusco and back the next day. That famous bridge. So let's see. So our winner paid $6, $350, $250. Second, Dream, $440, $320. Cause and Mayhem, $230, and fourth was 94 Expos. The $1 exacta, if you had it, like Blair, $18.65. The 20-cent try, $10.06. 20-cent super, $25.29. The $1 daily double, $12.35. The 20-cent pick three, $47.10. So if you have that, anybody, congratulations. Well done, handicapping wise.
And for the favorite on top, those really aren't bad payouts.
Yeah, not bad at all. With the two to ones in there, those are pretty remarkable.
especially in just a 7-horse race, with
Oh
the
yeah,
stretching
absolutely.
out. That's really not bad. It just shows that the money was probably pretty well spread out.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So
I
now,
love
as
it.
Tim said, you turn the page. Exactly.
As Bob Seger said.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's a 6.5 furlong on the poly track. Maiden optional claiming 65.9, which again, as I said to people, is the middle level of the maiden special weights up there at Woodbine. And the morning line favorite is the first time starter for Roger Atfield with Emma Jane Wilson. Look How Pretty, who is out of Sligo Bay, out of Catch a Fire. And she's a sister to Neshama. And who did you like in this one, Tim? In the Battle of the Super Speedies?
Let's see, what did I have in here? So I like the 7. The 7 is the horse that I kept going back to. So um, when I look at the 7 here, basically, I'm looking at the previous races, and I think that while the races look fairly even, I think the horse is on the improve, and I don't think that there's any world beaters here in this maiden race. And I went with the 5 underneath Tachyon Speed, one of the super speedy horses. And when it came to the 5, basically, I just thought that the 5 here is that last race. I'm just going to throw that out. And when I look at the previous races, the horse has been a little bit inconsistent, but I think that the horse is just like with the previous. I think this horse is better than some of the others in the race. That last work on 18 July is super fast. That 47-2, 47.4 is. So that's really fast. And I think that I'm gonna just draw a line through that last one. That the horse was the favorite in that race, so something obviously happened. The horse has got 2 good works if you look at it since the race. So, or several good works since the race, 3 in a row, and here in the month of July. I think that whatever was wrong with the horse, it looks like they've got it worked out. I think the horse is definitely has a chance to be there for a piece. And then for 3rd place in this race, I went to the 8 horse, the 8 on the outside. I thought that the 8 and the 9, I started going back and forth between both of those. But this is another horse who it looks like, if you look at the race a couple of back, I think the horse just needed the last race. They took him a little bit of a longer distance, and that's a move I always like. That's a move that I always look at when a horse does well and just misses in one of the sprint races, and then they turn around and take the horse at a longer distance, and then they bring the horse back to a sprint. I think they're looking to build stamina. And it's an angle I really like, and I think that the 8 probably has a chance as a result of that.
Oh yeah, no, I agree. I agree. Very good analysis there. Yeah, and let's see if we're doing. I think we got some Delmar people. Let's see here.
Who'd you like in here, Sean?
Yeah, this was a tough one for me because you never know. It's the interesting angle here. Is there any more difficult when Roger Atfield? Obviously, whenever there's a Charles Fipke horse and there's a Spate horse up there, you always have to watch it. But this is actually owned by Roger Atfield as well as trained, and he's usually very careful with his horses. Interesting. He usually doesn't bet his own, that much, and he's at 5-2. So obviously, the word may be out on this horse that that he's got some talent, obviously. Yeah, Zach, I was looking with you too. The 8, Miss Waterloo, Louis Contreras. Interesting. Louis was Josie's go-to rider for almost everything the last 2-3 years. and he has not been as much as he used to be. She's been using KK and other people, which is interesting. But he seems to fit this horse. Louis is a much better closer than he is a speed rider. And I think this horse could fit Rating His Dreams and Schemes. Will be running this weekend, and a couple other things. Is that when past tired horses, this is the type of horse that I like Louis to be on. So my top three were the 2, the 8, 7, and then the 5.
Right.
And yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. What were yours again? Just to recap.
So 7, 5, and 8. The 8 and 9, I had them right there. I kept going back and forth, but I think it's 7, 5, 8, 9 for me. And again, just like you said, we've got kind of the same numbers in different orders. And as you said, when you look at this and it's a maiden race, I think the one thing I wrote in the comments for this race is it's absolutely wide open. You can make a case for just about any horse in here to win. When I look at the 2, and I did look at the 2 as a first-time starter, I love looking at when we're looking at first-time starters. I love looking at sire and dam results with first-time starters. The trainer here in this particular case has a pretty good first-time starting ROI, but the dam is over 10. And Sligo Bay is only firing at about 5% of first-time starters. So the combination of those factors, one thing you can't get past, you can have great trainers and everything else, but as Jessica would probably say, sometimes you got to look at the pedigree angle as well. And when I do that for this horse, that's why I did not use the 2. I can see it. But the other thing for me, for a first-time starter, is I really want to see at least one work in their works that shows me that this horse is ready. And I just see a whole lot of average works. And I don't know this trainer well enough to know, and you probably with that field could tell me better. Is this someone who just makes sure their horse never fires? Because there are trainers out there that don't like their horse to ever show bullets. And the only bullet that this horse has is a 2 furlong work, and you can throw those out. Anybody can get a bullet in a 2 furlong work.
Right. Yeah. Roger is an absolute legendary Hall of Fame trainer. He's one of the very best. He's won so many grade 1s, both in North America and Canada. His first timers up there do pretty well, especially the spade spear ones. But he usually, very interesting, his first timers are usually. And this is where I find this interesting. Ernie Perry, who's also the clocker, did the morning line for this. And his horses, first timers, are usually always in the 8 to 10 to 1 range. You know what I'm saying? Where he's always given a chance. The fact that this one was put at 3 to 1 as a morning line is not a little bit unusual for Roger's pattern. Usually they're like at 8 to 10 to 1. And this one was put at 3 to 1. So I do find that interesting. But you're right, the Sligo Bays are not known as first-time starters. And usually Roger, as the owner of his horses, usually gives his horses a little more time or a race, so.
Right.
So
exactly. And that's totally why I was against. But I could see the horse winning. And then you do have Emma J. Wilson getting off of a horse that, to me, has a good chance with the 9 and jumping on this too.
Yeah, and she rides almost everything for Roger. So that's but that's not a bad thing. She's ridden Lady Spade Spear. She's ridden so many good horses for him. So she loves Roger. So for her to move over on that is not a shock at all. And Roger adores her. So they have a good combination. Interesting to me a bit is that this 8 is a 7 to 1. I'm a little interesting there. The very interesting. If you look at the daily doubles, people are confused here. And 27, 21, 32, 26, 26, 37, 33, 28. That talk about a even group of, like the bettors.
It's well covered.
Yeah. The bettors are a little bit confused here on there's no single here, And hey, Keith, how are you, buddy?
Hey, Keith, how are you doing, my friend?
Great to see you. Always. Yeah. So if you look at these doubles, I mean, if you look at that, you'd be like, and then even in like the pick threes, I mean, 2,000, 1,000, 2,000, 2,000, 2,000, 4,000, 3,000, 4,000, 2,000. So I'm saying, so no one is like 8,000 higher than everybody else is, which I think is fascinating. The 2 is the low in some of them, but your 9 is very low in the pick threes, which I find fascinating.
Yes. And, I always have to question a 9 post position in a race like this. But if you look at this horse does have enough early speed to get out there. And a couple races back, he was in the 9-hole, and it wasn't a great race. I watched it a couple of times because he was in the 9-hole in that race. So that's the one negative that I think against this horse is being outside in the 9. But with the speed the 8 has, I'm starting to lean even more towards this 8, and I cannot figure out why the public is putting this horse where they are right now.
Exactly. Yeah. And Christopher D'Souza, how are you, my friend? Always great to have you join us. Exactly. And this is another thing too, like to tell people, which I find funny. This is where sometimes the American bettors get a little carried away with Woodbine. A good example is the 1, Rocket Riley. Right now he's 9-2, right off a 15-1 morning line, and came in second by 3/4 of a length in his first race, right? And you say, well, that's a great performance, and by all means, he could definitely step up. You have no idea how young horses will, right? But it was against 49.6, which is the lower level. Now he's in the middle level. You know what I'm saying? So, well, it looks like he was in a maiden optional and he ran well. That's going up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Exactly. So
yeah, and I noticed the exact same thing, Sean. I looked at the class of the race, and then when I look at that, sometimes though you got to look one step beyond the class and look at the time, because sometimes there may just be a really good time. This was not.
Absolutely.
This was not. And I looked at the time of that race, and I said, yeah, the horse was second. I might have been able to get up for second in that race.
Right. Exactly. That was my thought. Exactly. But the betting public, and sometimes the American public, over bets because they say, oh, he came in second in the maiden, so he's going to move, where that group that he was facing may just been like 3-4 seconds slower than anybody in here,
Exactly.
So it's an interesting. Exactly. So we have 7 minutes to go until Woodbine race 6, and I'm with you. I'm a little puzzled right now, and exactly, and as to why this 8 is not getting any play. The Woodbine bettors are shrewd bettors, but I don't really know why they're totally ignoring this horse, and he is not ignored on the boards. Interesting though, that the one that kind of alarm for me was that he's in the pick 5. He's very high, which is interesting. Usually they're in the wise money, if you will, and that doesn't mean. And as Tim has said this, folks, and this is one of Tim's best points. Okay. Don't always let the public talk you off a horse. If you think you have the best horse, go with it. You know what I'm saying? Don't, just because the public is saying that you're wrong, but if you really like a horse, go with it. And if he wins at 9-1, if he does stay at 9-1, what an incredible value you just got on a horse that you loved, So.
Absolutely. And don't let them talk you off of your horse, and don't let them talk you on another one. A good case for me is the 2 in this race.
Yeah.
I didn't put the 2 anywhere in my top 3 because I don't like that angle. The public is
Yeah.
making the horse the favorite. And,
Mhm.
again, this horse could definitely be there, but it's a play against for me. I think that other horses, it's a wide open maiden race, and I like other horses here, and I'm gonna chase the price in here.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think that's a great way to do it, So I'm looking at the field. We got 5 minutes to go coming onto the track. Interesting, a rider who's been riding very well this year and doesn't really get the credit. He's been a great journeyman is Omar Moreno, and Omar Moreno can definitely get the job done. But a lot of the American people may kind of slip under the radar, like who's Omar Moreno, But he's a very good, solid rider there on did you like this the 7 at all? Did that 7?
Yes, the 7 is the one that initially I had on top. I really like the 7 quite a bit, and I'm just starting to look at that 8 a little more, and the odds are making me do that as much as anything because I like the 8 second, but I really do. It's 7 and 8 were my top 2 picks in here.
Yeah, because that was me exactly. Yeah, exactly. And I think Omar, if you look at that last race, what do you call it? Fourth, if you look at his last 2 races there, you see just a pattern, which and this is what I love, is that with the 2 starts, not even used in the first race. Like 20-1, not right. Even the connections weren't betting them, and then all of a sudden, but still comes in 4th by 7 lengths, a little brush there, but full of run. He ran a good finish, and then next time out, best ride late, small share. I think with this group of kind of unproven horses, I think he's the horse that may be on the 3rd time out. I love the 3rd, especially with Gordon Colborne.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. This is the Spadestown Dam. Exactly. So I think this race, I'm going to go 5 to win and place in the 7. I think that's going to be my bet this race because that was my number 1 pick. And I think Omar's a little bit under the radar screen here. And I think with all these kind of unproven horses, I think the 7 could be the one on the 3rd try who could get them all.
I totally agree. And the one thing is, I mentioned this last week as well. When I see comments and I see things like Fuller Run last 8th, I'm like, you can't always take that as being true. So I went back and watched it. And I totally agree in this case.
Yes, I do too.
It makes you wonder. The horse got off really slowly. It was a horse's first race. He didn't break well. Right. And the horse, but he had lots of speed. And in the next race, it was, it was similar. I think he broke a little bit better because I watched them both, but he still is a little slow getting out of the gate. I think the horse looks great on the track right now. I love the 3rd time angle. Whether it be 3rd off a layoff, the 3rd start, the 3rd with a new trainer, it's just, that 3rd off of anything is always a good angle to keep an eye on. I think that this horse could definitely be live. It was my initial top pick, and I'm probably personally, I like your wager. I'm going to also probably put down an exacta box on the 7-8 myself.
Yeah, exactly. And Keith says to us, tough race. I'm looking at the 3. Toss the last turf race and back to synthetic cutting back. Replay was still good energy at the end even. Yep, that's a very solid play. Keith, best of luck there. And Trish says, I can't believe they're letting the 4 off at a price. There we go. There we go. So good. And Trish, if you hit it, my friend, that's a fabulous odds for sure.
The question for me on the 4 was, it seems like the horse is going backwards a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, if he comes back forward today, Trish, you are going to get a very nice price because there's going to be some people who did not see that. And exactly. Let me see here. Who should? Yeah, exactly. That's yeah. Oh, our friend and Isabel Wench. For those people, she doesn't get a lot of mounts but Robert Tiller loves her. There was a horse named Checkerboard Floor, which she rode very well for Robert Tiller. And so whenever she's on a Robert Tiller horse, she definitely can be one at least to watch for sure, because she doesn't get a lot of mounts, but when she does ride, she makes the most of it, which is she's a great girl too. So nice, good to root for too, which is nice. But so good luck with that. And Dan has win in place on the 5. And you kind of like the 5, didn't you?
I did. It's one horse that I was looking at. I still probably like it. The question, as I said earlier, was whether or not I wanted the 5 second or the the 8-9 second. The one thing about the 5 is that last work is something that I think that that's really fast. And the one thing that the horse seems to lack is a little bit of early speed in that last one. I'm going to line through that. And that's where I said, if you line through that race, then the numbers in the previous race put that horse right with everybody else here.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We're going into the gate now. This is great. And our official bet here, folks, is 5 across on the 5 to win in place. Sorry, on the 7. We're down $16, but it's very early. Yeah, late money coming in for that 4 now. Yeah. It's great when your favorites are 4 to 1. Look at this: 6 to 1, 9 to 2, 6 to 1, 6 to 1, 6 to 1, 5 to 1, 7 to 1, 6 to 1. Can you ask for more value than this?
No, I mean, that's exactly what we said at the very beginning, that this is an absolutely wide open race, and you can make a case for just about every horse in the race.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what makes it a great game.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, so we're trying to get all the horses into the gate here.
All right, Ernie, I was just going to say, while they're loading up with Ombre out the last couple of weeks, this is the cocktail lounge. We haven't talked much about what everybody's drinking, so you need to post what you're drinking.
Yeah, let us know. It's
cheers.
Almost the weekend. Yeah, cheers. I got my usual sparkling ice here. Kevin Poucha, by the way, how are you, my man? Hope you're doing good. I got my ice, buddy. Hope you're winning some bets tonight. The 6 is going around in circles. They must have some horse being Brett's drinking iced coffee. There you go. On those hot nights, that's not a bad thing to have. How's the weather down there, Tim, where you are?
I was just about to ask you the same and comment that we have had like 2 glorious days with temperatures in the 70s here. We had a lot of 90s over the previous few days, but the last couple of days we have just had absolutely beautiful weather here in the Louisville, Kentucky area.
Yeah, we've had perfect. It's been like 78 and like absolutely like almost like a fall feel up here, but it's still nice, still warm. It's been perfect. We're going to rain tomorrow, but up here in Saratoga will be wet tomorrow. But the weekend looks really nice for this whole area up here.
So if you're not seeing that, late scratch on the 9, so gate scratch on the 9.
And that's a big scratch too. Yeah, that's a big scratch.
That's one less horse we got to beat, Sean.
Huh?
That's one less horse we got to beat.
Exactly.
Bring this 7 home at 5 to 1. They've started to bet that 7 down a little bit though.
Yeah, absolutely. They have, yeah.
So he's taking some late money, and if you look, he's the second betting choice now, and he was about fourth or fifth a moment ago.
Yeah.
And they're off.
Off their race, and a good start by Seattle Signal going to the front with
Good start by the 6 and the 8 on the outside.
Yes.
inside Silent Tribute, Mountain Sounders 4, and racing around the outside.
3's coming up the middle.
No Angel inside is
And here's the case we made about that one being in really slow races. He is
Yep.
way back from everybody else.
Way back. Yep.
front is Waterloo the widest. In the center, Seattle Signal 2.5 lengths away. Look how pretty Mountain Sound between runners from Tachyon Speed.
I like where the 8 is positioned.
Yep.
Robert Riley as they go to the 3.5 on the road. Front by
Looks like he's starting to crank that 7 up. Get that 7 going. Let's go.
third on the outside, Tachyon Speed.
We got the 4 and the 5 coming now, but the 7 is really starting to crank up.
Yep.
I like the 7-8 exacta that I played. Come on with that 7.
Yep. Come on, Omar. Come on, cheap speed.
Here's that 5.
There's that 5. Come on, Omar. Come on, Omar.
Here's that 1 flying.
Wow.
Look, we talked all that about the 1, and
Yeah,
he
seriously.
showed
Yeah,
us.
look at that.
Look, but Sean, you made a valid point, and this is something if everybody's questioning, well, these guys are idiots and everything they talk. Look, when you've got young horses like this, it's not out of the ordinary to
Yep.
see a horse just progress in a big way all of a sudden
Yeah.
from one race to the next.
Yep, absolutely. That is Zach. I've seen
And that was a progression.
that was. Yep. 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 Exactly. Oh, poor Trish is sweating her butt off in South Florida. Oh, Trish, have you been to Gulfstream at all lately? Over there, I know they've been. It's so weird to see Gulfstream without a turf course with all that dirt.
Christopher's sipping a little brandy.
Yeah, I like that, huh? Joe Palmentieri doing the 19 Crimes, The Vanished.
Bobby D, good hit.
Great hit, Bobby D. Spot horse on the charting horse value. Bobby's having a good night tonight. Look at Bobby's, yeah. Oh, Trish is just 10 minutes away from Hallandale, one of my favorite areas, Hallandale and Aventura, and all that great place up down there. And what do we have? We had 1, 5, and 7. Omar couldn't just quite get up to the group in time, but that 1 just came flying.
He did. He was way back.
And Justin Stein has been struggling mightily, so it's great to see him get a win because he's much more talented than his record has been showing. So it's great to see him starting to get back into that winner's circle where he's accustomed to being.
And the unusual thing there, Sean, is you saw Omar getting that 7 going late and following the 1. But he if you look where he was positioned at the turn, and you can probably see it right here, he's about in the 3 path. And then he looks at one point like he's going to duck inside, and then he goes back outside and see him. He's still, he's looking for a way around. So I think he got stuck behind a wall of horses because he had 4 horses in front. He thought he was going to go inside, and then all of a sudden, after going into horse positions, he figured out there was nowhere to go, and he came back out. Yeah, he still finished with a little bit of rally, but I think this horse wants more distance.
Yeah.
I would put that horse in your stable and watch for him to show up in a longer race.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, no, I agree. And again, as we said to you, and credit to you, by the way, another horse to look. Look how pretty. Watch him the next time, probably around 7 furlongs a mile. Roger giving his own horse a workout. They kind of not a workout, but a race rather than you know what I'm saying. Where
absolutely,
where a Fipke horse he might have out earlier. You know what I'm saying. Where Charles is like, I want to win now.
100%. That's another horse to definitely watch, because if you look at what this horse was doing, he was getting his first race under his belt.
He was getting a learning experience. Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's exactly how I played him. And again, I think the horse went off as a favorite.
Yeah, and don't be surprised, by the way, if that horse shows up on the turf, like second turn. Like get the legs under on the synthetic, and then Roger brings him to the turf. Wouldn't surprise me at all. Yeah. So did Todd win? Nice job, Todd. Oh, Bobby. Okay, Bobby got it. Okay, great.
I was a little disappointed in my friends at Stable Duel today that they didn't give us a Woodbine contest to play.
I know. What is Miss?
We're going to have to reach out to Bree and be like, Bree, it's cocktail lounge night. How can you not have a Woodbine game?
Exactly. Come on the show and tell us why there's no Woodbine race.
You'll like this though, Sean. On when I opened it up, because I had just finished handicapping, and I told you that I ran home and looked at all the races for Woodbine. So I said, well, let me look, since there's no Stable Duel game. I said, okay, let me pick Del Mar, and I hadn't handicapped it. There was 3 minutes to post in race one, and I picked 10 horses. Just went through and picked, and a couple of the horses I recognize. I went jockey trainer angles, and it's just like I just quickly went through, picked 10 horses, and said, well, let's just play.
Oh, that's
it's a 3-minute stable, and
love it.
And if you look, it looks like a 3-minute stable. I'm in 29th position out of 42.
But you still have action. Exactly.
That's right.
Which is great.
No, it's a game. It's supposed to be fun.
Yeah. Did you play horseshoe at all today?
I did not. Like I say, with school and everything, it was just like it's that was my focus for the day.
That explains why I came in third. Okay, because there was no riders up.
No. That is a track that I've not had a lot of Stable Duel success at. And I did go up there for their big day, their big Derby day. And it's only a couple hours for me. And I enjoyed the day up there. I ran into Carson up there. I saw Carson.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
So met her husband and talked to him for a bit. Really nice guy. And but I enjoyed the day. I enjoyed the track. It was pretty packed up there. The facilities are a little bit limited on the racetrack side, but you can get anything you need. The casino's right adjacent to it, and it's interesting, and it was fun. I like it. I like checking out new tracks.
Right. Yeah. And by the way, I have to give you tremendous credit. I know sometimes you should, as Assiniboia was not your usual Stable Duel track. You did excellent this past week. Usually that was not your strongest track, and you did fantastic this past week.
I've had one win up there, but it's a track. Other than that win, I've not even placed in the money in a lot at Assiniboia. It's just it's funny how we have more luck at some tracks than others. And finally, I've been really playing all of those contests, trying to get into that invite only winner take all contest. And as much as anything, because it's Assiniboia and I don't do great, I just want to play. Again, it's a game, and I like playing. And I was glad to qualify. I had thought, because they had published last week, that was going to be the last week to be able to qualify, but I was glad that I was able to qualify this week. Yes, but I was surprised I didn't win that $20 game, because I was in first place most of the night. And right in the very last race, a couple of people passed me, and I finished fourth, and the person who finished first was like 4 points ahead of me. So first, second, and third, and fourth were within 4 points.
Yeah, exactly. I chose.
So it was a really close game.
Yeah, I chose because I was already in. Right, I chose not to play the $20, and of course my team did well. But that's what you get from me. Nice, but I was just kidding. But I still did well in the free game. And
I finished second in the free game.
You did. I was right behind you. Yeah, exactly. Yep. And exactly. So But the
and you know, this is a point for if you're a stable duel player out there and you're primarily concentrated on the pre-games. It's the person who finished first in that game. They posted on Twitter. I saw their post that was their first win. Had they played the $20 game, they would have won it. They would have won it by a significant margin, actually.
Yeah,
and they would have taken for a $20 investment. They would have won $200.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. It's all the comfort level, though. Exactly. Yeah. So
it is.
This is great. And Brett finished 8th today in stable duel. Nice job, Brett.
Joe said that was him. Congrats, Joe. That was good. You had a really good night that night.
Oh, great job, Joe. That's right. It was Joe.
It was Joe.
Congratulations, right. Joe. That was fabulous, bud. Great job. And Trish, it's a different beast because and it really is true, Trish. Like there are some people that are fabulous handicappers, and then there are some good stable. I mean, obviously you can be both, but it's two different mentalities. You know, you're like in betting, you're just trying to win. You know, in stable duel, maybe you're picking a horse, maybe not to win, but at a price, get up second, third at 15, 20 to 1, and and shock the. Which is great, So.
And I'll just give you an example of a play. So I forget which contest it was. It's been in the last couple of days, but in the very first race, I thought that there were 3 or 4 horses at the top that any of them could win. So do I want to spend $7,000-8,000 on the possibility of winning when that horse may finish anywhere from 1st to 4th and legitimately, and there are many horses that could do that. And then there was a $1,000 horse, and I loved the horse. And I'm like, this horse is going to finish in the money for sure. And when you can only pay $1,000 in stable duel and get that kind of money, and the horse finished in front of a few of those other horses that were $7,000 and $8,000, and when you look at the standings after race 1, I'm not anywhere near the top. I'm several positions down, but I know the points I got. Points per the dollars that I spent for them were significant because I've got my better plays later on. And a lot of people front load their stables with a lot of their higher dollar picks. So later on in the later races, I know I've got horses to where they're playing $500 horses. I've got horses that I think are going to come probably first at $7,000 or $8,000 because I found my value horses. And that's the important thing about stable duel. But Trisha's right. It's a different animal, and it's a lot that's what I like about it. It's completely different from wagering. My stable and the horses that I put in my stable, sometimes it may not be the way I'm betting. Yeah. And that's because I'm looking for value because I've only got $50,000 to spread across 10 races. And I can't take the horse that I think might win every race because that might be $80,000. You don't have that amount of money.
Sure, exactly. And congratulations to Joe again. And by the way, just a little shout out to my mom who was chasing Tim right there.
Yes. And passed me at one point.
I told my mom, I said, Mom, you took one of the best stable duel players of all time right down to the last race.
No, it was great. That was a lot of fun. So
as a matter of fact, I think it was in the 6th or 7th race, your top pick and her top pick came in 1-2, and hers paid 19 to place, and you had the winner. I said, it's easy. You just face the top 2 players right now. You hit I think the exact it was 77 for $1. I said,
right. I remember that.
That was fantastic. So.
Okay, 7th race coming up. What do you like in the 7th, Sean?
Yeah, so let's look at the 7th here. Okay, 7th race in Woodbine we got coming up here. And let's see what we got here. Exactly. Yeah. And that in this race, we have, just to give the conditions for people, the turf is good on the outer turf. So this is the outer turf, not the inner turf. A 6.5 furlongs turf, good starting, optional claimer, 41,000. This is a race that a little sentimental here because they're friends of ours, but I think that Fidelia, who's being bet at 5-2. is definitely one to take seriously here, even though hasn't really been on the turf in a while. I do like the form that's been in the McPherson's, uh, and for a lot of people who don't know, Alexander McPherson's son Doug is the track announcer at Fort Erie, and also his assistant trainer. Um, they put their horses in good spots, and the horse has been running in good form. So, obviously the turf is always a new game, but obviously in good form. As that he struggled a little bit on the inner track, and faced better on the outer, but returns to that where he's had some success in the past. But my top pick in this race was, see here, let me see here, the 11, Antagon, Zigio Kretschmar and Kazushi Kimura, coming up from Presque Isle. I just thought this horse with the Carpe Diem, the Seeking the Gold, Kretschmar, when he brings these horses up, ran very well on the inner track up here, has had good success on the turf, and I think he could be an interesting player. Even you remember he came in. It was a couple of years ago, but he come in fourth in $101,000 allowance. So he likes the outer turf. So that was my pick. I was 11, and then my top three picks were 11, followed by the 7, Billy Jane, and then the 4, Fidelia. Who did you like?
Interesting. I did look quite a bit at that 11 because when you first look at it, you don't see a lot of turf there, but the horse has had 10 races on the turf, and he's finished in the money 5 of those, only winning 1. But if you go back, he has had success on the turf, and definitely if he could get back to that form, he's only had 1 race since December. That last race was his first race out, and you can see he was pretty level. And again, much like the 2 in the last race, I'm sure that they were just trying to get some fitness in the horse and get some race experience and get him back on the track. And your 4 horse is the horse I liked second. I really like this horse. So when I was looking back, he's another one. You see a lot of artificial surfaces there on the top. But if you go back, the horse has run 9 times on the turf. He's won 2 races on the turf, and both of those were at this very distance. The horse at this distance on the turf is 2 for 2. One of those was by DQ, and he would have won that race. I went back and watched it. He would have won that race had it not been for the interference in any way. So he was the best horse in that race. So he's 2 for 2 at the distance. But the horse that I'm going to play on top, and I do like the 4 a lot, but I'm gonna play the 9 horse over the 4. This horse has won his last 2 races at 2 different tracks, and running on the front end. I looked across at this one, this entire field, and I don't see anybody who can run out front with him, and I don't think he's going to get a lot of pressure on the front end. There are a couple of horses that you can see in here that they do have some ones up front, but I think that this horse has more speed. So I think he's going to be the clear leader in the race, and I just think that just like he's done in the last 2 races, that he's going to wire this field. And again, it might be a little bit of a progression, but the speed figures fit, and the speed that he ran in winning those last 2 races, if he continues to run that way, it's better than just about anybody in this race is running right now. So I was 9-4-11.
Yeah. Very, very solid. 9-1 with Eswan. Eswan's a very good speed rider. Eswan gets horses out of the gate. And if you're looking for someone to do that, he's one of the very best in the business up there. So, and let's see, Joe Palminteri likes, let's see here, like the 2 a bit here. 3rd off the cycle, likes turf and distance. Let's see. Trish has 9 at Woodbine. Yeah, as a Japanese horse. Yeah. Let's see. Here we go. Brett is 912. Let's see here. Yeah. So a lot of people back in that 9. coming from 40 or 8. 9-1 is extreme value, by the way.
I totally agree. I did not expect that for sure.
That is it. That is a great play. It's your play this time, my friend. So, yeah.
All right. Any other thoughts in the chat? What are you guys liking?
Let's see. Brett is doing 9 over the 1, 2, 4. Let's see here. Definitely an interesting race. The great thing about Woodbine is Woodbine puts races together for the most part where there's not like a 4 to 5, 3 to 5 like standout. You know what I'm saying? It's very hard. You know, like that my friend likes to play for single. I said, you were nuts. At Woodbine, bet 4 singles in a row at Woodbine because it's very tough to, you know.
They're on the track in the post parade right now. They're up to the 4, and I will tell you that 4 looks very good on the track right now. He is your favorite, but here we go with the lukewarm favorites again. He's your favorite at 3-1. Great odds.
And Bobby D so Brett has 9 over the 1, 2, 4, and Bobby D, who is on fire right now, has 6, 4, 9, 2 with 4, 9, 2. Sparkle Sammy is interesting on the drop. Yeah.
Oh, there's the winner. Look at that horse. If you're not watching the post parade right now, look at that 9.
He is looking.
He is on his toes and feeling it.
He is. Love it.
I think the 10 looks good as well.
Yeah.
And that's another horse I didn't mention, but I did keep going back to, if I was to put a horse in 4th, the 10 is the horse that I had next as well.
Yep.
But I just thought he was a little bit below the others here.
I agree. I couldn't agree more. Yeah.
But I really like this 9.
So what would you like as your bet, my good friend? Our bankroll right now is at $24.
$24, and we got 3 races left.
You do whatever you say.
No, exactly. No, I'm just calculating in my mind.
Yeah, sure. Dan is being smart and following the hot hand with Bobby D. Can't argue there, exactly.
Look, Dan, we talk all the time about angles. That's not a bad one.
Yeah, exactly.
Follow the hot hand.
Trisha says, you call that a visual bet? So Trish may add the 11 in for a trifecta. There's some. I was watching the post parade. There's some good looking horses in this group here. But Ezwan is an excellent speed rider, and I'm with you. I think he could definitely take this field wire to wire. And let us know who you guys like out there. Thank you as always for liking. And guys, if you hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't. We so appreciate all your support out there, guys. So appreciate having you join us. Always. Chris D'Souza likes the 10. He is a 10 with the 10-2-5 exacta try box. That would be a nice one if you hit, for sure. Sparkle Sammy.
Hey, Trish, help me out. When you talk about the visual bet, which part are you talking about? The way I saw him on the track? I mean, basically, I've mentioned this in the past, but I always like watching the horses come out. I like to see how they take to the track. And it typically won't put me on a horse that I'm already on, but I will often look at a horse that I do like and say, you know what, I just don't like the way he looks right now, for whatever reason. So it won't make me necessarily add horses that I just don't like, but it could throw them out. And I like the 9 anyway, and seeing him, it just reinforces that I really like the 9. And I'm definitely not getting off, but what it may do as well is change how I bet, and not the horses or the order, but maybe the strength. I may decide to go a little heavier on a particular bet if I like it, and I like what I see even more. But in this case, Sean, what I think we're going to do is I'm going to go really simple, but different from what we normally do. I'm going to do a $2 exacta box 4-9, and that's it.
I love it. Love it. I'm with you. I mean, that's great. Okay. I love it. Yeah.
And you know, this is how I typically bet. I'm a exacta. I'm a vertical player. I play exactas and tries primarily. And when I really like a couple of horses, I do think the 9 is best, but I can see the 4 winning here, and the 4 also looks good. So I'm going to take those horses in an exacta. If I was to play a trifecta, what I would play is 4-9 with 4-9 with 2 or 3 horses in third place. And I will tell you that when you look at the tournament, that the Tour de Force tournament that Hombre was running, and I ended up finishing in, I believe it was 4th place in that tournament out of 100 and some players. And I was the top winner in a couple of the different prep races, and that was what I hit. I hit trifectas in both of those races, playing that exact format. 2 horses with 2 horses with 2 or 3 horses.
That's awesome. And back from being a great dad and picking up his children, Mal Thought is back with a 4-5-9 $5 exacta box. So welcome back, Dad. Exactly.
And I looked quite a bit at this 5, and the reason that I didn't like the 5 as much as the 5 seems to be backing up a lot, and I just like to see him carry something out, and he's backing up. Even in that last race, it was a 5 furlong race. He's backing up. He was at this distance the previous time, and he ran a little different style than he normally does. But if you look at most of his other races, he's backing up in all the other races. And I just, and this is a little longer than most of those. So I just need to see a horse to carry through on something, or see them put him in a couple of route races to try to get him a little bit more stamina.
Yep. And the 9 has gone out to the lead here with Ez1, with the 4 sitting right on the rail behind him. 23, not a quick quarter so far. 9 to 2. Ez1 trying to take him wire to wire. The 10 on the outside, the 4 right on the rail with him. In the corner, Silent Guru trying to take him wire to wire. The 10's trying to rush on. The 4, the 8's trying to come on. What a great ride by Ez1 and the 9. Wow. So it was the 8-9, Jilly Marie. Katerina Vasilieva. She's just a good trainer. Christopher Husbands. Thought the 4 was in a good position to battle with him there, but he kind of lost it there at the end, huh?
He did.
Yeah. 8, 9,
10. And
then 6.
6 and 2 is close.
Yep. 6 got bet down, huh? 6 got bet down. Yep. This is what, and I love what you're doing tonight too, Tim, which is great. This is a great thing for people. Woodbine races are tough. They're not, you know what I'm saying? They're not, if you like something, go with it. You know what I'm saying? But you don't have to go over the apple cart. You know what I'm saying? You take a stab, but Woodbine races are not easy, and even the racing secretary, whenever I'm going up there in a couple of weeks for the King's Plate, and he says I try to make the races not easy, and that's a great thing for they can be challenges, which is great. And if you bet the 8 at 13-1, what a value, our
Absolutely.
nine got, I actually bet it across at 9-2. What do you call it? Eswan gave a heck of a ride there. I thought he was coming back there for a second,
Yeah, and I would not have had the 8, and most people in the public didn't have it 13-1. But you're absolutely right, and it's just like that's why they run the races and why they call it gambling. But that's why you can't you can't always bet so many and buck so many horses. Take a stand, to have an opinion and back your opinion. And if you're wrong, turn a page and move to the next race, because you could bet a lot of horses in this race. And we talked about probably 5 or 6 horses, and we never mentioned the 8. So you could bet a 6-horse box and bet a whole lot of money and still not have the winner. So that's why I say take a stand with your opinion, and don't try to spread so much, because it's just like I tell my buddies all the time. They cash more tickets than me, but I win more money, because they have more winners, but they spread when they do it. And to spread, you're not winning as much. So when I win, my wagers are the same as theirs, but I have less horses. So the money is probably 2 to 3 times the bet. So they may have a $1 winner across multiple horses, and I have a $5 winner that is across just a couple. So have your opinion and stand by it. That's what that's really how I think you can be a little bit more successful.
Exactly. And Tony said hard race. I mean, exactly. I mean, like
it was.
Yeah. I mean, look at even the last race. Everyone was a 6-1. I mean, you can't get a harder race than a favorite at 9-2 with 6 horses at 6-1.
Right.
Exactly. This has been this is why I tell people, like in America, who don't follow Woodbine, if for like the pick 3, pick 4 players, it's a real challenge. But if you can find like even like a couple of hits here and there, you can really cash well, because it's a tough. There's no singles going on. It's a very, very good hard race. There you go.
You don't have to win every race. That's the thing to keep in mind. And for those of you that were around last Thursday, you saw we Woodbine canceled because of the weather, so we went over to Del Mar. We were only able to get in 4 races. We won 1 out of 4 races, and we finished up for the night. And if you really push that one exact that we did play, and it was the exact and try that I had with the numbers that we had, and I was up about $600 when we were done after 4 races, just off of hitting 1 race. You don't have to win them all. Just have an opinion, bet the same amount of money on less horses, and you'll win more money.
Absolutely. So we're coming up on the 8th race here coming up, which is exciting.
And Sean, let me say one more thing, if you don't mind. And that's my opinion. I'm just sharing an opinion. If you feel differently, you bet you. And if you want to bet more horses and you're more comfortable doing that, or your comfort level is more because you feel you're a little more spread and you're okay with not winning as much, as long as you don't lose as much in the big races, you do you. And that's the thing. Have a way you bet, and bet that way. It's when you bet all over the place and you win a race and you increase your bets, or you lose a race and you chase money. Have a strategy, have a budget, go out there, bet the way you bet, and just play. There's nothing wrong with sharing picks, but just like in here in the chat, we're sitting here and we're all having opinions, and even with the opinions that Sean and I have, you guys at times have different opinions. And right now, like with Bobby D, he has the winning opinions and we don't. So everybody's going to have their day. So you have your opinion and bet your horses and bet them the way you bet. And we're offering suggestions to maybe help a little bit in certain ways that we play and what we see. But if you don't agree, then don't agree. It's just like when we don't agree on horses.
Right, absolutely. Yep. And that's why your guys' comments are so valuable, because you might show us something where we're like, hey, I didn't see that, Exactly. So, which is great,
Love
Mike
it.
Whitten. Oh good. Yeah, Mike Whitten. I bet $20 a night and I have a blast. That's awesome, Mike.
That's it, Mike. And
That's what it's
I
all
tell my
about. We're
friends
having
all the
fun.
time, when they're like, you bet the horses and everything. You know what? If I take $100 and go to the track and bet $100 for the night, and a lot of my friends may take that money and go out for the night, we're spending the same amount of money and we're having entertainment. Our entertainment may be different. It's just that this is
Yep.
the way I look at it. You're not necessarily going out and saying, well, I'm going to win money tonight. No, you're going to try to, and you hope you do. But at the end of the night, you're wagering and having fun on a game that we all like to play. And you got to look at it as entertainment and have a budget and do it right.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
But I love that, Mike. That's a great way to do it.
Yep. Exactly. And Joe says, I love it. Confidence is a bettor's greatest asset. I agree. Yep. Yeah.
Totally.
And here's the hot one coming in, 8-9-2-1 with over 9-2-1 in the next race here. Is that Bobby? Is that for Woodbine? Let me know if that's said there. Exactly. How about giving us a horse that goes gate to wire? Well, we came damn close there with Eswan.
We almost did it there.
He tried. Exactly.
We thought we had it.
Yep, exactly. I thought we had it. I had him across, and I thought Rasheed was going to go wire to wire.
Sean's about to give it to you guys. He's about to win you all kinds of money in the next race.
That's right.
Pay
That's
attention.
right. Yep. So now, Tim, who did you like here in the 8th race? I was going to read the conditions here. 6 furlong synthetic, fast claiming, thoroughbreds 54.5. Who did you like here in the Woodbine race 8?
I was just trying to pull up my. I got so many windows. I got a little.
And Malathod's asking, will Cody's Wish be beatable in mile and 8th in a small field? My gut is no, but at a mile and 8th, it's a new distance for him. So, and it's the graveyard of favorites. So to say that anything at Saratoga, Secretariat lost it at Saratoga. To say that anything is a lock at any time is not is not a good thing. I think he is most likely the winner, but at the same time, I would not ever talk anybody off. If you like another horse to try to knock him off, especially at the mile and 8th, I have no problem with you doing so. There's real talent in there, just besides Cody's Wish.
So when I was looking at this race, Sean, the 2 is the horse that I liked on top. If you look, as you read off those conditions, we're in a straight 25 claimer here. The 2 in his last race was in an optional claiming event, and that line doesn't look as well. But if you go back to the 2 races before that, the horse ran in 2 25 claiming races at this level, winning both of those for the same connections. And I think the horse can definitely repeat here. And then when I was looking for horses to play underneath, the 9 is probably going to be your favorite in here. I do like the 9, although I'm going to personally play the 2 on top. I may play them both ways, but the 9 is another one of those horses. When you look at the conditions for the races he's been racing in, he's been racing against better. His speed figures are a little bit better than everybody else in this race. Clearly that's why he's currently your 9-5 favorite. And the 3rd horse that I liked in here was the 8. So I think the 8 horse in here is definitely a horse to consider. If you look, the horse in his last race, throw that out again. The horse was coming back off of a layoff. He was running on the turf off a layoff. And if you look at his back class, and most importantly, if you look at his races at this distance, he has run 14 times at this distance and won 10 of 14 races at this distance, finishing second twice. So at this distance, he is 12 out of 14. So the horse has run 33 times in his life. 14 of them were at this distance, and that accounted for 10 wins. So the horse definitely is a specialist at the distance, and this is second off a layoff for him. So I'm going to play the 8 underneath as well.
And I mean, not only does he have the best last name in the whole chat, our buddy Paul Nolan from Ireland. How are you, my man? Hi, guys. Had a good day betting in the UK. Woodbine looks hard. I had one bet on the so-called favorite on race 6. We'll call it a night. Always a pleasure, my friend. What is it? It's like 3 in the morning over there, and he's still watching us. Thank you, Paul, as always, for tuning in. We greatly appreciate it from the Emerald Isle.
And you're absolutely right. It is a tough night at Woodbine. It's definitely hard.
It is. I looked at this card this morning and said, wow. You know, this was just not, there was just no singles. I was like, wow, you know, this is, and Chris in here likes the 3. Oh, it's Del Mar. Oops. Exactly. But yeah, I was with you, my friend. This has been the, when Sahin and Ensom get together, it just seems like they don't like to lose.
Right.
And that is a very valuable play. And that was my pick of the night, was King Alfredo. You know, and it just is, you and I think very much alike.
Exactly.
And what is that? And that was, he's a horse of the course. And as you said, with the conditions, there are some races up there that just fit horses perfectly. And Ensom doesn't have a lot of horses. Jim doesn't, but he knows exactly where, he's astute at placing his horses where they can win, you know? And so the 2 is my play. So Brett, is this for Del Mar, Brett? Are you going 9 over the 3-9? Just didn't know if that's for the Del Mar or for Woodbine. We have 10 minutes to post.
And who did you like under the 2, Sean?
I like, let me see. I was 2, 3, 2, 9, 3. Kevin, the great thing about Al and Bill Oline is that they are not afraid to put in a horse to lose it if they think it's at the right level for their horse. You know, they love their horses, but they will let it go if they don't think he's up in the right level. You know, they're not afraid to have Kevin drop him, you know, and start from scratch. So they always put their horses in the right spots. So I think this horse is definitely a definite playable horse, especially dropping down into the claiming ranks, you know, trying to, so they're not afraid. So I was 2, 9, 3 here.
I like it. And, you know, looking at this 8 again, Sean, I'm definitely somebody who likes to look at works. And I don't think you can bet a horse on works alone. But there are certain things that I look at and certain things that I think are standouts. And I just want to point out on the 8 horse, he raced his first off a layoff back on the 25th of June, and that was a turf race. And sometimes when a trainer will bring a horse back, this horse definitely runs better on the synthetic than he does on the turf. Yeah. But so why did they put him on the turf? Because to me, I think it hides maybe a little bit of fitness that the horse does have. And let me just point out that in his works, if you go back to prior to that race, he worked out on the 11th of June, 4 furlongs on the artificial at Woodbine, and he went 46-1. Bullet workout, first of 119 horses that went 4 furlongs that day. He came back a week later and went 46-2, third of 110. So they wanted to get a race in that horse, I think. And if they'd have put him on the artificial, I think the horse would have been obviously a lot closer and up there on the speed. You look at it at his races on the synthetic, and they look a lot different than that line on the turf. And this is a speed horse. And that's why, again, I really like this 8 as an underneath play. And this 8 could potentially win. I see why the 9 is a favorite here. And the connections here obviously is a big part of that. At Woodbine, you're always going to bet these connections. But I'm with Sean. I really like this 2 as a play. I think the 2 is a play on top. And 2 with an 8-9 is definitely how I would play it, maybe over and under. But those are my thoughts. It's your race, Sean. And
yeah, I'm just going to do just $4 to win a place in the 2.
There you go.
That's all I'm going to do. Yep.
But the horses are headed out to the track right now.
Yep. Absolutely.
We have 7 minutes to post. What's everybody think? What are you betting? You heard our thoughts. Let's hear yours.
Yeah. And for those who didn't chime in, what are you drinking? Is that it's Thursday? It's almost the weekend. It's almost Whitney weekend. Exactly.
Or you know what? Just drink tonight, call in tomorrow, and start your weekend now.
Yeah, that's right.
It's a big weekend up at Saratoga. Let's get it started.
Absolutely. Amen.
I won't be doing that, by the way.
I just encourage you, but
Exactly.
I'm just an advocate for it.
Exactly. I'm just trying to get people in trouble.
And it is so true up there with the handicapping, as you said. It's an interesting track up there, the way they do it.
Those works are monster fast, though, on that 8.
They are, yeah, they are. And the other thing, by the way, I can say this from having experience, because as a lot of people don't know, I'm very close to the Woodbine scene. Because people ask me this: why do horses go from synthetic to turf, synthetic to turf? A lot of it has to do with the conditioning book. So sometimes trainers are actually forced to run them in spots that they don't really want to run them in, and that can be a problem, because you don't want your horse sitting for 2 months without a race. So sometimes they will put horses in races to get them a race, rather than have them sit and not race.
Right. So. And a lot of times a trainer will point to a particular race and be like, I want to run in this race. But I want to race before that. I want a conditioning race before that, but this is the one we're pointing towards. We're looking at race X on this date. What can I run in prior? Where do I fit and what can I run in? And it may not be the best place for the horse. And that's why the line and the finish may not be what you would expect from the horse, but they could come back and run a completely different race, because that's what they were pointing towards all along. And that race fits them better.
Right. Yeah. And Blair likes, let's see, Brett has a 289 exacta box. Blair likes the 589 and $20 on the 5 horse. So he's a big fan of the 5 horse here. Coming up. Thank you again to everybody who's tuned in tonight. Awesome. Yeah. So thank you so much. There we go. Christopher, $44 to win on the 3. So he is liking the 3 here. So we got Blair liking the 5. We like Christopher's liking the 3. Tim and I are liking the 2. Who else do we like out there, my friends? Let us know. This and by the way, this speaks to what Woodbine is trying to do. You have one person betting 44 on the 3, another 20 on the 5. There's been 589, 289. There's all sorts of animals here who have a chance, which makes it exciting. Oh, Tony, always a pleasure to have you join us, my friend. Please do. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, see
Love it.
that, and by the way, this is very interesting. Just a quick point here, where people always say, "Why did England run on the turf and America doesn't?" Okay, um, Paul Nolan just brought up a great thing. Their meets are 4 to 7 days long. They don't have 8, 10 week meets like we do. You have to keep the Saratoga turf course going throughout the entire meet. They have 4 to 5 day meets. They really can't afford not to run on on those type of meets, and that's why they run much more than we do. Like where we might take the races off the turf. They don't have a dirt course; they only have turf, and they're only 4 or 5 day racing festivals. So that's why they run the turf so much more than we do because they're only 4 or 5 day meets. They can't. They have to run every day they can. So that's just an interesting. And when people always say to me, "Why is Europe running the turf but not us?" Because their meets are short, Zach. Where over here you're going over a long stretch of time. So there's a little inside information there. Thought that might be helpful. How many minutes we got to go now? Here we got. We're getting 2 minutes to go here, and we're
John,
still. Yeah, go ahead.
John, have you been to many places overseas or any of them? Or
I have not. I've never been to Europe, believe it or not. So I've never been to. I've always wanted to. I've never been to a European. Have you yourself?
I've been to a few. Obviously, I was stationed over there. I lived in Europe for over 14
Sure.
years during my time in the Air Force. But where I went to the track mostly was during my time in Spain. I was right outside the it's called Zarzuela, and it's the horse track there right outside Madrid. And I used to go there and watch them run quite a bit. And a friend of mine that I have over there, we would go out. He's a fan of the horses as well. We'd go and watch them. And of course, again, all turf races. But enjoyed going. I've not been to any of the England tracks, and it's one of the things that I really want to do. I want to get over there, and you got. I think if you're a horse racing fan, you have to do an Ascot and potentially do an ARC, and it just to go and participate, just like with the Derby. I think
Sure.
they're events you have to do at least one time if you're a huge fan of this game.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, so we're at post time. It looks like they're headed to the gate, Sean.
Yeah. Here we go. We have reached the starting gate. Or as Tom Durkin used to always brilliantly say, the starting gate has reached the horses. One of the true great race callers of all time, Tom Durkin.
Absolutely.
I think one of the most underrated, I think you would agree, is Travis Stone.
Definitely. What I find most funny, Sean, is growing up in Lexington and with my home track being Keeneland. When I grew up going to the track, there was no announcer.
I know there was no booth, right? Exactly. Yeah.
Keeneland did not have an announcer for years and years.
Right. Kurt Becker.
And people find that so unusual when I tell them that if you weren't around at the time.
Yeah. Yeah. Kurt Becker, who, is that back then there was no booth. Exactly. Yeah.
No.
It's just funny. Greg likes the 6 here. And no Valencia's 6 seems just as good as any others in the try. Now we're going into the gate. 2's down to 7-2, and the official bet here is for the win in place on the 2.
I'm also keying the 2 with the 8-9 here personally.
Yeah. Larry Colmus is a great friend of mine from Suffolk Downs through the years, Mike. An excellent caller.
Definitely.
He's fabulous. They seem almost all in.
All right. Let's see if that 8 goes out to the lead like I think he's going to.
Yep. Yeah, let's see. Yep.
As they break back the last, King Alfredo and Call My Bank, but going out in front towards the outside, Richie's in the house quickly headed.
Ooh, the 9 missing the gate. That's interesting.
Spears there with Rockstar Road. King Alfredo spearing forward on the inside. Elect Commander Joe, Call My Banker. Back second last, early on the Dragon's Brew, and now to the rail of the back is Lenny K. Showing the way, Mr. Crowley by
Mr. Crowley.
Richie's in the house, moving up nicely. Elect the way, King Alfredo. Sun Spear is fourth. Two to Commander Joe, who's over on the inside.
So the 8's well positioned, and the 2's been riding the rail the whole time, saving ground on the inside.
Yeah,
Let's see if he gets a little bit of room as they head around to the stretch here. They're on the turn. 3's still holding, but the 8's starting to make a move to the outside of him. The 2 is also being joined by the 6.
Yeah.
Here he comes. Here comes the 2 and the 8. That 3 is not wanting to relinquish the lead, though. It looks like Mr. Crowley, who, if you notice, also got bet way down at the end. Look at that! Look at that 9 flying up for second.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
After missing the break, he was way back and still completely came flying up. So that's a horse to watch for next time out. That 9 will definitely be there.
Rafi Hernandez and Martin Drexler are now 20 for 56 together. That is getting it done.
No doubt.
That is getting it done. Yeah, I thought the 2 was in a good. I thought Saheen had him in a good position, but it's just the horse just didn't have anything down the stretch.
No. And
I agree, Dan. The Paul Allen is a great announcer at Canterbury. He makes it exciting. Yeah, but yeah, so it was, yeah, so
3916.
3916. Okay. Well, we're gonna have to hit the last race. Yeah, so yeah, and they hammered that 3 down. Late money showed, and so did the result. Exactly. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I know Malathat had that try until 50 yards out. Ugh.
And that was actually pretty interesting, though. But
thank God I didn't have the 2 in the stable meal, the stable goal.
Exactly. He just I don't know what happened. He didn't fire at all.
No. If you had the 3, you're feeling good.
For sure.
You just got 65 points. Exactly. So we're on to the final race, and as Tim said, all you need to hit is 1, which is great. All you need to hit is 1, and boom, you're right back in the game. You're right back in the game, and we still have $16 to go with 1 race to go. So Tim can more than get us there. And if you ever seen Stable Do or anything, there's no better closer than Tim, who just lurks in the bushes and then just comes shooting out at the end, right up to the top. So he can do it for us tonight in the betting too, which is great.
Well, see, that can also be a product of I'm usually all the way back, so at sometimes I'm going to make a move forward, and then sometimes I'm still going to finish in the back. But no, it's just a great game, and it all goes to how you structure your stable. And
yes,
like I say, a lot of people tend to front load their stables, and I don't play against front loading my stable. I do have picks that I will make that use horses in the early races. But the other thing is I don't go through the races first to last. You'll see so many players as they're picking their stables, they go through first to last, which means that by the time they get to the end, they don't have any money. And what I typically do is I look at the first races, and then I look at all the races, and I'm looking at where my best plays are. And sometimes they may be in the middle or the end, but for whatever reason, most of the tracks put whatever their feature race is for the day, one of the last couple of races.
Yep. Yep.
So those are typically big races that I like to handicap and look at. So I will make sure that I'm looking at those races. So I always use that money before I'll pick all those middle races.
Yep. Absolutely. And that's what I do. I build my team. I often build my team around the stakes races, and then work back,
Right.
Exactly. So here we go. So Todd loves some big brown pedigree on the 10 in the next race. We have a bunch of 20-cent columns with long shots to catch. Yeah. That's how I bet. I bet cherry pick. Yep, for the races I like. Exactly. And again, to everybody, Giant Gizmo. There's my Giant Gizmo has got horses everywhere at Woodbine. Him and Super. They got and then we're on to our final race here.
Well, Sean,
yeah.
did you have any huge thoughts? Because I don't have anything mind blaring, and I've got some thoughts, but before I share them, did you have any horses you really liked in this last race?
Yes, I do. I actually like our friend's horse, Zippity Day, the 9 for Kazushi and Catherine. She was supposed to run last week, and they got canceled off because of the heat. She's been training very well, and Catherine likes the spot. This is on the inside track, on the inside thing. She ran a solid race as the 2-1 favorite last. She came in fourth, but she had excuses as she was ridden wide, and I think she can definitely put in versus this group a very solid effort going from the 40 to the 29 group. I think this is, as we like to say, as Jeff Brait up there always says, she's found friends that she can run with. Exactly. So I that is definitely my play of the day is the 9 Zippity Day. And then the second was I had Wars Endkiss with the Rico Wolcott for Steve Churcott. He doesn't use Rico a lot, but when he does, they come in first and second a lot. So I like that one. And then the third, I had Merriman with Ryan Munger and John Mateen. He's like 33% with Mateen, and I thought this horse had a real life chance.
And this is where I said the reason I asked you is that it sucks as much as we've had opinions throughout the whole night that have not come in on horses that were not the favorite. I could not get away from the 2 favorites in here. Yeah. And I also like the 9 on top. This is another case to where I told you I always look at the comments in the Daily Racing Forum. Yeah. And this one just says bumped at the start. If I was writing this line, I would write, this horse was completely taken out of the race at the start. They almost knocked this horse over. Yeah. And it was more than a little bump. And the horse still finished fourth. Yeah. And you may look at fourth, but that's only by a length and a quarter. Yeah.
And Catherine was thrilled after that bump,
Yes. And it was more than a little bump. So I really like the 9 on top as well. I like and again, this is where I said it's not very sexy in here, but the 3 horse is probably going to be the second favorite in here, and that's who I like second as well. Pretty much the same thing with the 3 in that he had a bad race last out. Had all kinds of problems in getting around the track, and again was still made positional progress, even though you look and he was going backwards by lengths, but that was just because the horse was completely out of the race at this point. The horse that I like third is the only one that's going to be a little bit higher odds potentially, and that is I like this 11. The 11 is clearly stepping up to run with winners now in that they just broke their maiden the last time out. But in that particular race, they ran back, and the if you look at the runner-up in that race come back to win. The other horses that have run in that race that have come back also seem to be doing really well. So that was a really, what a lot of people will call a key race, in that a lot of those horses have come back to really either win or improve position and be on the board, even for a couple of the horses that were further back. So for Grande Bella to be winning that race against a lot of good horses, I think it looks a little better than it may look on paper for a maiden win. Yeah, because it was a tough field. So I think that horse definitely can compete at this level. 7,500 claimers. There are a couple of horses to where it may look like they're stepping down, but they probably fit with this class better than anybody else. But sure. The drop on the 3 was the one that was probably the biggest that stood out to me. But I just, despite that, I could not put the 3 over the 9, because I just, looking at that last race and then a couple of the others, I just think, and the connections, they're getting KK to ride, and yep. So I just really like the 9. So I'm 9, 3, 11 in here.
Love it. There you go. And let's see what we have here. Upgrade front runners here in the finale. Hardly any speed signed up. Brett has the 3-9 with the 3-9-4-6. John Fellows has a Broderick Crawford wager, exacta box 10-4. Christopher D'Souza has $45 to win on the 6th, and a 6-11-7-3 exacta try box. Interesting, not even using the 9. But hey, if you hit, that's a fabulous hit. So.
Absolutely. Anytime you can hit and take the favorite out like that, you're gonna make some money.
Amen. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah. So let us know who you like here. Thanks, guys. As always, one race to go here at Woodbine Park. Have you ever been up to Woodbine before?
No.
Okay. Yeah. You would like it. You would like it. I can tell people who haven't been there, it's a very unusual experience, which is so cool. When you stand on the railing, right, the outer turf course is right next to the grandstand. So when you're standing at the rail, you are literally on the turf course. Which is really cool. The poly track is inside the main turf course, and then the inner track is inside the poly track. So when you're standing on the rail, you are literally standing right on the turf course, which is really cool. It's kind of an unusual thing for Americans to see, but it's really cool.
It's definitely something I want to do. I know Assiniboia is a track, even though we talked about my failures with Stable Duel up there, but I just love playing that track. Oh, I really great. Do. Yeah. I just think it's a lot of fun. I think that they make it fun.
They do.
I think that they intentionally, with the announcer and their graphics and the enthusiasm that they put into
the portal, just everything. Yeah.
Everything. And I love their tools. I wish more tracks would do that. The way, and for those that aren't familiar, I know a lot of you actually tune in on Mondays as well. But if you don't and you haven't seen Assiniboia, they actually have a players portal to where they have free past performances. They have a lot of the handicapping tools that are out there and available to different people, available to you. They have expert picks on there. So it's just a lot of good information available to all the players at no charge. And these are all products. All of those products are products that cost money. And it's just that the track has worked with the people that provide those products to be able to offer them. Now, whether the track's paying for them or not, I don't know. But I would assume that they're probably doing something like that. And that just goes to show the measures they're taking to really attract a fan base and to get people involved. And I just think it's a great track.
Oh, yeah, it's great. I think their product is very good. And they do a great job, and even their Twitter guys very, very smart and knowledgeable, and and likes people's stuff, and
Absolutely.
Yeah, Joe, I agree, Joe. Hard to find a more friendly track than ASD. I couldn't agree more.
Love it, Joe.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll tell you, Sean, I don't know if you're watching the horses in the paddock right now at all, but they've been showing the 9 a little bit, and the 9 looks good. The 9 right now is the favorite at 2-1, and those are great odds if you like the 9 at a favorite. I mean,
yeah. And what's great about her, by the way, just sometimes my friends will say, "Hey, I didn't see Catherine in the training thing." She is not there tonight. Her assistant trainer has been on vacation for a month, and she and her husband have been working the barn themselves. And this is his first night back. And, and she said, "You can take the late night race tonight. I'm going to take a break." So that is our friend Angel that is doing the 9. That has nothing to do with what the chances of the horse. She and Todd have been working the barn for the last month. They said, "Angel, welcome back. You can take the late night."
And you know, for those playing this race, if you like exactas and you use one of the online wagering services, I love watching the probables, the exacta probables, because if you look right now, you know, the 9 and 3, as we mentioned, are the 2 favorites. The 9 is a 5-2 favorite, and the 3 is second choice at 5-1. So that's quite a disparity between the top 2. But if you look at the exactas, the exacta that's paying the least right now is the 3 over the 9. So there's been more money bet on the 3 over the 9 than the 9 over the 3. And they keep flopping back and forth because my screen just updated and now it went back to 9 over 3. But here's the thing. Favorite over second favorite for a $2 wager, $33.90.
You cannot beat that.
No,
it's amazing.
If you like the 2 favorites, which I do, this is a race where I will definitely be playing those 2 horses in an exacta box. That's what I'm going to play. That'll be our play, and that's what we'll do, because at this amount, I mean, I think that's great. So, Sean, how much money did you say we had left?
16. You want to do an $8 exacta box?
Let's do it. Let's just go for it.
I love it. $8 box. What is it?
3-9.
3-9. Yep. Absolutely. Yep. Official bet. There you go. And we had a great week last week. You know, so it's all, you know. The other thing I always tell people always say this to me, and this is so important. Every day is a different day. When you have a great day, right, work just as hard to get another great day. If it doesn't work, just throw it out, put it in the garbage, and then put it in the disposal. And then next day, come back like you haven't lost in a month. You know, and just try. You know, it's a short-term memory thing here. You know.
So, Sean, if you'll remember when I said I like the 9 over the 3, the horse that I said could definitely be a price, and I like third best was I like this 11 horse. Yep. Somebody just hammered this 11 in the wager.
Saw that. I just noticed that.
Because he just dropped. A minute ago he was 6 or 7 to 1. He was the third favorite. And he just went from down to first he was co-favorite at 3-1 with the 9, and now he's a straight up favorite at 5-2, and the 9 is 3-1.
Yeah, is that yeah. That's fine with me.
Right. I mean, I can see it, but again, this is a huge step up when you go from racing against maidens to racing against, you know, winners. It is a different class, but as I pointed out, that was a good race and a good crop in that horse beat. But again, it's still a step up for that horse to come in here and win.
Oh, absolutely.
And I like our wager. I mean, I absolutely love both of those horses, the 9 and the 3. Right. And if you'll look, they've got some of their expert picks on the screen right now. There are several people that are picking that 11 on top, but it's all 11-3-9 for the most part if you look at it.
Now, here's a great question for you, Tim. Out of racing, I was asking some of my friends this today. Is there a favorite trainer and jockey combo that you like to bet more than like any other group where you say, okay, those two are together, I have to use it?
You know, it's really hard to say, but I I don't think there's a trainer jockey combo that I like, but I'll tell you a trainer that watching being on the Kentucky circuit here, and especially so close to Churchill and playing a lot there. There's a trainer that I've been very successful with following his horses and betting because he brings in so many big prices, and that is Ian Wilkes.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I just like playing Ian Wilkes's horses. And what a lot of people don't know, and his name escapes me now, but one of the jockeys, and he's not one of what everybody would call, he's a middle tier jockey. He's a good jockey, don't get me wrong, but he you know, he's not a Tyler or Gaffleone or one of these other guys.
Our buddy Chris Linderos.
Yes, because Chris. If a lot of people don't know that, that's his son-in-law.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah,
and you got to watch the races, but a lot of times he also has Julian ride a lot of his horses.
He does. Yes, he does.
So I watch, for the flip-flopping of Chris and Julian, and a lot of times Chris is a guy, being a son-in-law, he gives a lot of rides to, but when I see that all of a sudden, Chris is available, but he's got Julian on a horse a lot of times, and some of the higher odds horses,
sure,
it's amazing how many times I've been successful. And I'm talking about 10 to 20 to 1 odds horses. And sure, I've had some major payouts with Ian Wilkes.
I always tell Ian when I see him in Saratoga, right? I said, and he always says, hello. He's so polite. And what I always say, there's no better mud trainer than you, Ian. Like when his horses get in the mud, they just run.
Yes.
It's amazing how they just step up. Like if there's a mud race in the Ian Wilkes, I don't care what the odds are. I'm putting just 2 across on him, and
exactly,
because he's going to be coming.
He's going to pay one of those bets, whether it's win, place, or show, or all of them. Yeah. But no, I totally agree with you. But so he's somebody. Again, it's not a favorite angle, but he is a trainer that I watch for, and I watch who he's putting up on his horses as well. And not that Chris hasn't brought home some winners, because he has. He's brought home his share of winners. But it's just, again, it's fine. This game is about finding angles you like and something that you kind of like to play, and that's one of them. When I see him make a jockey switch, and sometimes it's just, okay, let me take a look at this horse a little bit. And but I guess you could say he's my love to hate jock. Believe it or not, is Tyler. And I love Tyler. And I think he's one of the most talented jockeys, but my friends here, the ones I go to the track with, all make fun of me because I've had wins with Tyler, but normally if I'm betting him, he's losing. And if I'm not, he's winning. And it's just like, it's hard for me to combine, put those things together and hit the right times. And it's just, it's something we laugh about because it happens so darn frequently. And it's just, but he's a great young rider.
He is. The combination, that's my go-to combination, is when my boy Brendan P. Walsh puts Tyler Gaffalione on, man, do those two, they just know how to find the winner's circle. That horse is coming. If Tyler's on Brendan's horse, that horse is coming. I don't care if he's 5-2, 8-1. I'm putting them in, because Tyler's going to have them coming,
And Tyler rides great on both surfaces, but I will tell you that Tyler's one of the best jockeys, and he's getting a lot more credit. But Tyler is a much better turf jock than a lot of people think he is.
He is.
And when he gets on the turf, particularly in the shorter races, in the sprints, Tyler's a darn good jockey. He's a great jockey anyway, but he's a really good turf jockey. And I'd say he's up there with some of our current best right now in the States when it comes to turf sprints.
Sure. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And when he gets with his unofficial dad, Mark Hasse, what do you call it? He does great with them too.
Yes.
So he's, and I always love Junior and Billy Mott together. But let's see here. What do we got? We got
2 minutes.
2 minutes to post. Here we go. Exciting. Thank you again, everybody.
What about in the chat? Does anybody have any jockey trainer combos that they like to wager on?
Exactly. Who do you like? Exactly. Yeah. See who you like exactly.
So our friend Matthew DeSantis calls the last race the bailout race.
Yes, the bailout. And this
when you're having a bad day, this is going to be our bailout race. It's
I
going to
love it.
bail. It's going to
All
bail
we
us
need
out.
is one. All we need
That's
is
it.
one.
All you need is one, and the last one is one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And by the way, yeah, this Katarina is an amazing trainer. If you don't follow Woodbine, Katarina is one very talented uh, uh, trainer up there, and definitely one to watch. She's getting better and better every year. And she used to train here in the States as an assistant, and went on her own in Canada, and she's getting better and better every year. She actually had one of the favorites last year in the Queen's Plate. So she's getting better and better by the year.
Trisha, I will say, fade Tyler at your own peril. And you know, I say that based on what I just said about betting Tyler and not betting Tyler. Every time I fade him, I swear the guy wins. Yeah. And then I'll bet him in another race, and he doesn't. But fade him at your own peril. It's all good.
I agree.
I love it.
There's just some people that exactly. That's like me with people know me. I will never ever badmouth the jockey, especially in public. What do you call it? So people always ask me that question. I'm like, I will not answer that question. Like who I don't like. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. The one I do have, and I give him crap for it, right? And he laughs in my face, which is funny. But what do you call it? Is Jose Lascano on dirt. I love him on turf, but sometimes on dirt, like if I do bet him, but then I don't bet him, and then he wins. Exactly. I said, so I know you can run it on dirt.
Anytime you want to take a stand against a jockey and just fade him, and you're gonna lose. Yeah. Because if you never bet them, they're all good. And they're all going to have their days. And it was just like the big day at Monmouth here recently. I chose for the day to mistakenly, I chose to bet against our who was it that won so many races that day, Sean? I'm sorry. No. Joel Rosario. I chose to go against Joel, and
day, right?
Bad day to go against Joel, because I said if he had a good day, and he had a great day. He won several races, came in second in a couple of others. I faded him all day long, and I lost because Joel was all over it that day.
A great quick story before they go into their gate, which is awesome about Joel, which I love about him so much. Right when he's on the East Coast. Right, he'll come right out for his mounts. When he's at Del Mar, he's so at home with everybody. He will come out 5 minutes late because he's talking to everybody coming on the way out, and they're like, "Joel, get out here! You got to ride."
I love it. There's nothing better than going to the track, which I've done a lot. And my sons, I've took them all to the track when they were little, as they're loading up here for the last couple. Yeah. I'll make this quick. And seeing the jockeys come off the track and stop with all the kids and give them goggles. All my kids got goggles when they went to the track, and it's just, the jockeys are great for the game.
No, they are, absolutely are. 11's going in 9-2. Gotten bet down. Deshaun Bino. For our friends, John LeBlanc. Yeah, Grand Bella. Yeah. LeBlancs are one of the nicest people you will ever meet.
And they're off.
And they're off.
That 11 is determined to go.
7's showing some early speed. 53-1. Santino de Paula, right? Trying to steal it from the front.
So that 11 definitely he came back up to 5-1. So
yeah.
So we're on the back stretch, and the 7 is up front. The 11 is positioned outside right now.
Yeah, 24. Yeah. Campbell 3 sitting in a nice stocking spot
with the 5 outside the 3.
Yeah.
Our 9 is starting to make a move, Sean.
Yeah.
He's 3 wide and coming after that 5. I don't like what I'm seeing from the 3 right now.
Yeah, no.
7 and 11 are going at it up front.
They are. Ding dong battle.
The 9, actually, it's going backwards the other way now, Sean. The 3 is starting to move it, and the 9 is starting to fade backwards.
I know, exactly.
Here comes the 4 on the outside. 4 at 9 to 1.
KK starting the motor just too late.
Yes. Look at this 9 coming with a rush again, Sean.
Exactly.
You tell me why that happens. Why did he fall so far back and then come with the rush?
No idea. Exactly.
He had a lot of horse underneath him.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, I did. Yep. It just makes no sense at all.
None.
Oh.
5 to 2. 5 to 2 favorite. So you get a 9 to 1 over a 5 to 1.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
So the 411 at last tick was paying $305.50 for $2. 411 10 6 7. I just don't understand.
No, not at all. That he had tons of horse too. She was flying. She made up more ground than anybody did in that field by a ton.
But the horse was well positioned as they were coming around the far turn.
And then let her sit back instead. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I just don't understand why he went backwards before he came with the run.
Yeah, exactly.
Because look at him right here in this replay if you're watching.
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
He's coming between horses. He's way back, and then watch how he finishes with a flourish. It's like right now he just like pushes it into a gear and passes all those horses, and I just don't understand.
No, that was.
So he got up for 4th. It looks like
he did. Yeah, he did. Yeah, exactly. Marv said, I got to start betting my key horses to win. That's the worst when you have a key horse that you like and then it wins and then the other ones don't. You know, exactly.
So Malathot, did you have the 4?
Malathot, yeah. Did you have the 4? I think maybe. Let me see. Let's see here.
I was trying to look.
Mally, did you have the 4? I didn't. Let me see here. Huh. Okay. Oh, he had to try. Nice job. Very good.
That's going to pay.
Tricia, thank you as always for joining us, my friend. So glad to always have you with us, my friend.
Have a great night, Tricia.
Sorry we couldn't get you more winners tonight, but just one night. Exactly next week, new night, all full winners. Last week we had a big winner. Exactly.
Hopefully we'll get El Hombre back in here. So
yeah. Exactly.
It was 411 10 9.
Crazy.
So you've got 9 to 1 over 5 to 1 over 7 to 1 for your trifecta. So that is going to pay. We already know, as I mentioned, that for a $2 wager, the exacta itself was paying several $100s. So this trifecta is going to pay really well.
Yeah, exactly. And Greg, thank you for always joining us. Greg, you had some nice winners at Toga. Yeah, I've fired a few bucks, had fun. Thank you. Lunch, we always love having you, my friend. Thank you for joining us. Exactly. Now, I thought great job, 12 to 1.
So it looks like 411 10 is paying 201.55.
Wow.
Is what I see.
Whoa. Crazy. Love to know what this pick 6 pays.
And I think that I'm pretty sure that according to what my wagering service uses, I think that's for 50 cents.
Yeah. And our star of the night here is Bobby D, who is going crazy. Great job, Bobby. Always fun to have you join us, my friend.
Have a great night.
Greg always loved to have you. Greg's happy for me because Antonio Whitehall is my boy's starting to come
Starting to
alive
pick it up again.
Exactly. That injury, whatever he had, must be.
He hit a slump, and Sean, I think what might have had to do with that as well is he rode a lot for Lisa Pruitt in the beginning, and she was on fire, and she has cooled off big time. I think she just had her horses ready to run at the beginning of the meet, and he benefited from being on a lot of those, but she is really cooled off.
Yeah. Paul, just to answer your question there, my friend, it's hard for Cinebobia because of the size of their track to have like 12. They really can't have 12, like 13 horses. That'd be very hard going around those tight turns. You'd have real trouble. That's why they can't have fields like Woodbine. Woodbine's a much bigger track,
So here's our payouts. The 4 paid $21.10 to win, $9.70 to place, and $6.30 to show. The 11 paid $7 to place and $5.20 to show. The 10 paid $5 to show. The 411 exacta paid $305.50 for $2. The $1 trifecta 411.10 was $1,007. And like I said, it's a 20-cent try that was $201.55 that I was quoting. So $1,000 for $1. So I'm not sure what you had there, Malathot, but $1,000 for $1.
Nice job, Mal.
Very nice. So he had it. Yes.
Great.
Awesome.
And Marv,
so he had it twice.
Thank you as always for joining us, my friend. You start betting to win on your key horses. Exactly. Those are some great prices,
Really was.
Absolutely. So, well, thank you to everybody for joining us tonight, as always. And we look forward to hopefully having Ombre again. If Ombre was watching, exactly. Feel better, my friend. Hope you feel better soon that you're joining us. And Joe, good luck this weekend for you all, my friend. We'll see you on Monday. The defending champion, I should say, Joe Pullman and Terry. Exactly. Well, we'll see. And exactly. And
make sure that everybody continues to tune into the Trust the Profits channel on YouTube.
Yes,
we got a big weekend of racing coming up, and I'm sure they'll be putting out more content on all the races. They always do. Always good to check that out. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel if you haven't.
Yeah, and Mike Whitten, if you're going to Churchill Downs in September, you might see this man there. You never know.
I will definitely be Churchill Downs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, yeah.
So what we need to do is, I think they do Twilight Thursdays there, so they do have some evening races. So I'll tune in and be Johnny on the spot from the rail.
Absolutely. Love it. So thank you to
folks,
everybody.
Thanks for joining us.
Have a wonderful night, and we'll talk to you soon. Thank you.
Good night.